Hello, welcome to the stream. It's your boy Lowly back for part 2 today. Um, just gonna click on this one.
There's a very specific kind of
I
influencer
like
that
Salem
the internet
Tovar.
has
She's
been
a cool
obsessed with
streamer.
lately. It's the it
Well,
girl.
If a person does
YouTuber.
not make you happier, more loved, or even wealthier, why are you there? I don't get it. Like, if it's not growing you, then why are you there?
The girl who never cries. The girl that never gets hurt. The girl that has all the answers all the time.
Ladies, do not settle.
She knows her worth. She never chases. She manifests. She attracts.
This is how I manifested a provider type man that truly lives, breathes, works, repeats to give me the world.
And according to this new wave of female alpha content, you can become this
want
girl
long
too. If
hair.
you just
What do I
become
do?
confident enough, healed enough, detached enough, hot enough, and maybe convince a very wealthy man from LA who drives a Cybertruck to finance your Erewhon and Botox addiction, then you too can be living your most luxurious, soft-girled, hot Pilates, stay-at-home girlfriend/wife in no time.
Do not date broke guys. Do not date guys that have no money, have no job. Do not date them.
But what happens when that fantasy completely backfires on you? What happens when the person who popularized this type of content and lifestyle and messaging becomes the exact cautionary tale she spent years warning women about?
This guy makes no money, nothing. He sold my engagement ring. This guy just plays video games all day. I need to find a new place to live. This is not funny.
And just like that, the internet has split completely into two camps. People who feel terrible for her, people who think she deserved it and that she's a hypocrite. But the real one uncomfortable question that no one's asking about this whole alpha female content and the Wizard Liz situation, you know, the face of alpha female content, if even she couldn't avoid this with this whole laundry list of amazingly hotness and perfection, can anybody avoid it? Because honestly, this whole thing isn't really about the Wizard Liz. It's about the internet's growing obsession with alpha female content and the fantasy that it's selling to millions of women, and whether we've accidentally started confusing self-worth with something it could never guarantee. Immunity from heartbreak. This is gonna be a long one, so grab a snack. Hello everybody, it is me, Salem, and welcome back to my commentary, Chanel Sparkle Sparkle Sparkle, where I talk about pop culture, whatever's trending at the time, and sometimes whatever I feel like sneaking around. Today's topic, this.
When a man or anyone tells you that you are a good woman, you should take that as an insult.
Yeah. I know. If you've spent any amount on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, what else is there? Pinterest, the Lemon8 app, Twitter, you name it, Uber Eats at this point, chances are you've probably seen this woman pop up on your For You page at one point in your mindless doom scrolling. Trust me, we've all been there. No judgment. No judgment. She has gone viral for saying stuff like this.
Oh my god, he texts me good morning. Please. That is so embarrassing. Like, literally.
Stuff like this.
On my days that I don't look my best, I am still the best.
And also stuff like this.
We do not reach out anymore. We go completely, you know what? Ghost to ghost. Become a ghost.
This is the Wizard Liz, and she is the face of female alpha content. And I know you're thinking, what? Oh, female alpha content? I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, see, this is why you have to like and subscribe and comment and tell me that I'm big brain, because this is what my channel provides you, okay? With new information. Not only am I a family channel, but I'm also back my stuff with science. You learn something new every day. But yes, there's actually female alpha content. And unlike male alpha content, it's actually kind of addicting. And when I say it's addicting to watch,
What if he tells you that you need a 9 to 5? Say, oh, I just need another man. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
it's addicting in a way where you can almost feel the girl boss vibes radiating off of the tiny little rectangular screen of your iPhone and or Android, because I don't discriminate.
What's your favorite position? CEO, as you want?
These picture perfect, strong, cold yet calculated women who are living these crazy lives, who fight against content like this.
As men, we do a lot. Men are the prize. You know what I'm saying?
That for years have been telling men that women are too picky, too emotional, that all they want is money, that women lose value with age, women need to be led, women should submit.
I'm like the dominant alpha
but
all while looking like this is crazy. But the thing about female alpha content is that it's actually nothing new. For years, the internet was so used to the Andrew Tates and who's that other guy who's a loser and looks like he hasn't slept in like a million years because he's haunted by the demons of his past and it's very obvious. Oh yeah, Fresh and Fit. The internet was flooded for the past few years with male podcasts, rented Lamborghinis, toxic dating advice, being bald, and aggressively telling other men that women are the reason to every single problem they have ever encountered in life since birth, essentially. And for a while, this content wasn't just dating advice. It wasn't just like the average, this is how to get a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. It became like a whole worldview that has easily reached the minds of young men everywhere and ate their frontal lobe like a brain-eating amoeba. It's giving RFJK. Wait, what's his name? RFK? The guy that sounds like this, you know?
I'm around a lot of young girls all the time, and they all seem like really crazy at that part of their lives.
It's giving that. Male alpha content
that's
has
a
single-handedly
beast
done so
quote
much
to
damage to our
use of
society
him.
that it has literally scientifically damaged Gen Z's dating pool, and I'm not joking. It told lonely men that their pain wasn't just personal, it was political, it was much deeper, it was the modern woman's fault. It didn't just give men confidence, it gave them someone to blame, and it gave them the audacity, quite frankly, and I fear. But after years of, honestly, this bullcrap, after years of women being told that they expire past 25, that they're too independent, too argumentative, too masculine, too this, too that, a lot of women became tired. And like in a tunnel of pure darkness, sewage, with rats going around everywhere, a tiny point of light finally at the end, finally shone upon us. Female alpha content came in to save, honestly, everything. They came in like, no, actually, girl, you are the prize. And so what if you're emotional?
Men like toxic, sprinkle, sprinkle. Right? If y'all haven't realized by now, men like toxic women.
Men use women, and when a woman comes online and says, let these men provide, or don't just be with these men for nothing, oh, then suddenly it's a problem.
Men say that you only want them for their money and you should take more of his money. Don't let men disrespect you. You should stop begging from texts from a guy who uses 5-in-1 toothpaste, conditioner, shampoo, toilet paper. You know what I mean? And this type of content completely has blown up the past few years alongside alpha male content. And honestly, I understand why the message took off. Because quite frankly, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of tired of content like this.
If you want your arms to look leaner and more muscular, get rid of the hair. The hair camouflages definition and vascularity. Now,
yeah, compared to alpha male content, female alpha content was more of a freeing sensation and an expression of self-defense from this movement. It felt like a correction. It felt like women were finally retaliating and saying, if men can build entire empires online and careers telling women that they're disposable, then why can't women build platforms telling each other that men are just as replaceable too? And thus the queen's risen from the ashes like phoenixes. Shira, the sprinkle lady.
You said, what are you bringing to the table? Men are tired. I'm not bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle. If you want a woman to bring something to the table, go to IHOP.
And the wizard Liz.
Men that go on podcasts. Again, the microphone that they have.
That's a big thing.
Why is it shaped like that? You have to think about it, yeah? Think about that.
Both of them with stern personalities, amazingly luxurious lives, women telling other women that you need to know your worth and you should not settle for the bare minimum. Despite Shira being one of the biggest faces of this alpha content, more recently, the wizard Liz, the other queen of alpha female content land, and I just made that up, you're welcome, is someone that has been in very hot water since the beginning of her career, but most importantly has been in hot water recently for basically all of her messaging, promises, and her content completely backfiring on her. And when I say that it's bad, I mean the situation is like bad.
He leaked my address online because this guy told me that if I call the police, then he will call ICE on me and get me deported. I need to find a new place to live. This is not funny.
Someone of Wizard Liz's status and size, someone who has 4.6 million followers on Instagram, 8.5 million followers on YouTube, and 7.9 million followers on TikTok, was the last person on everyone's mind that would be going through something so diabolically ironic.
The Wizard Liz is going to completely destroy her online branding for a man, and that is perhaps the saddest part of the story, is that she does inherently believe that she is more special than the rest of us and that she is the exception.
Now that you realize that not
not everything you trust online from a young person who is going against their own advice can be trusted.
That is the problem with these young girls coming on the internet giving this life advice when they don't have enough life experience. She learned the lesson the hard way, and she learned it while everyone was watching.
Speaking of things that cannot save you from heartbreak or accidents, you know what and who can help you with those things? Morgan and Morgan. Sorry, I couldn't think of a better transition for an ad read. But anyways, imagine getting on a plane and hearing the pilot say, "Good news, everyone. I just watched 3 TikToks about flying last night." Men telling them that they're a prize to be cherished, respected, treated well by everyone, especially men. And if it's your man, she says, this goes double.
I genuinely believe that anything that happens in my life is for my greater good. I think that if it doesn't happen in the way that I want, God has a better plan for me. And if it happens, then I think, yay, God wants me to succeed.
She gives advice on all these different platforms. She has gone viral so many times and receives millions of views on her content on a daily basis. You've probably seen some of her content floating around, even if you've scrolled into her content on accident.
So be very, very intentional with what you ruminate on and what you think about on a daily basis, because you're attracting that.
This woman is everywhere. She truly is a wizard, okay? Despite the majority of the Wizard Liz's content being about self-love, radical self-acceptance, not taking any toxic behaviors from anyone, not even from yourself, a lot of her content is actually based in the whole divine feminine spiritual realm.
Just decided, you know what, right now I'm gonna take the manifestation journal that I created, and I am gonna write in this manifestation journal a partner that I want to attract. I felt such a strong energy from him, and I'm a person, I'm very intuitive, so I feel things. I don't really think, I feel.
But the thing about the Wizard Liz is that there's 2 sides of her content. The content that is genuinely trying to reach women and heal a part of themselves that they need help healing, and then the ruthless alpha side that tells women to level up and girl boss your way into a man's pockets.
When a man or anyone tells you that you are a good woman, you should take that as an insult, because in this world, to be a good woman means you have to bend over backwards and you will still not be good enough. Nothing a woman does is ever enough. Ever.
And this is the version that a lot of people know the Wizard Liz for.
Do not date broke guys. Do not date guys that have no money, have no job. Do not date them. Men are so ugly. After 25, they start balding. If a man cannot give me more than I already have, or he can add to what I have, why is he there? One thing in life that broke men have is audacity.
Mostly because she promises if you follow her advice, her glow up tips, her self-esteem classes, you too can be living a life like Wizard Liz that is outrageously luxurious and glamorous. Liz started her career on YouTube around 2020 when she was only 21. She made inspirational content, lifestyle content, makeup content, and even vlog style content at one point. Definitely her charisma and how drop dead gorgeous she is made her grow incredibly fast online. Like, sis has it all, and she's not gonna be shy about it.
But that's what you think, and you're entitled to your opinion. But I don't care about your opinion, you see.
Period. It wasn't long before she branched off into TikTok and Instagram, where she shared stories about how she was already a millionaire by 23 and a multi-millionaire by 25. The difference between a lot of motivational, like female-based speakers telling women to love themselves and just accept themselves the way they are, Liz demands it from you. Like, she for real demands it for you. Kind of like your cooler older sister who doesn't want you to touch her perfumes, but she will gladly give her a used lip gloss and you will cherish that lip gloss with your life. She gives those vibes with very hard and stern older sister talks, such as stop dating broke men, stop doing this, stop dealing with that, and very often will give into the whole sugar baby lifestyle and kind of talk a lot about traditional gender roles. And this is kind of where she loses me personally. But even with her more problematic sided content, she still garnered a huge fan base, mostly because she said that she's able to quickly manifest money, relationships, and confidence because she doesn't give off desperate energy. Sis was on top of the world, dating another multimillionaire, being treated like a queen, and for the longest time it seemed like all of her advice, her self-care courses, her manifestations completely worked until things went completely haywire.
This guy makes no money. Nothing. He sold my engagement ring. This guy just plays video games all day.
Landon Nickerson. Landon is a gamer, former YouTuber even, and entrepreneur. Or should I say entrepreneur? He's the founder and CEO of a company called ARC, which is in the business of augmented reality hardware and technology. He was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Landon was an incredibly successful Fortnite YouTuber. There's already so many red flags, but I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, okay? In the 2010s, before eventually leaving the platform to pursue his ARC company full-time amongst other reasons. And somehow, this beautiful gazelle of a woman somehow met this guy and ended up a couple. Despite keeping in touch with each other through Instagram DMs, they actually officially met at an airport and things kind of kicked off really quickly afterwards. And pretty soon, they started to make content together about how they manifested each other through good vibes.
Landon is how smart he is. Like, this is no joke. His brain is like insane. I have so much respect for your brain and the way you think.
And super high standards. They actually kept their relationship secret for a very long time until revealing that they were dating each other. Until September 2024, when Liz made a video all about their relationship, which has now since been deleted because things went terribly wrong. With just 4 months of being together, Liz got pregnant sometime in January 2025. And many people were very happy for them. Only Landon got caught cheating.
5-10 minutes of my life texting somebody that I don't give a fuck about, jeopardizing everything that I have. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I deserve the hate. Isn't it just a mistake, right? Like, this is breaking trust.
Girl, I'm telling you, yes, scandalo. This is crazy. Oh, but trust, it gets worse. Apparently, Landon's ex reached out to Liz, warning her, hey, just letting you know, he tends to do this a lot to women. Only for Liz to call her jealous and trying to ruin a good thing going. Ironically, with the wizard Liz's content being all about women power, decided to wave away this giant red flag of another woman warning her about the hurt that was about to come her way.
Because he would flood with more notes, more handwritten notes, more flowers, more everything, and he would jump a like 10-foot fence to get into my building, my apartment complex. When we went to the therapist, she was like, this is not love, just your nervous system saying stop, please stop, find someone else.
Despite receiving a really crazy warning with a bunch of evidence, someone who genuinely cared about harm that may be coming the Wizard Liz's way, the Wizard Liz responded in a way where she victim blamed Landon's ex, threatened to take her to court for spreading misinformation, and overall had zero empathy and understanding and wasn't willing to hear her out at all. And this was the first crack in the Wizard Liz's alpha female character, where people realized that the Wizard Liz may not be who she makes herself out to be, all-knowing, all-wise, and all above everything. This was the first time that people started to call the Wizard Liz a hypocrite and turn on her and say that her content can't be trusted. And pretty soon, so much more stuff came out about their relationship, such as Landon being blatantly racist, Islamophobic, and a whole slew of just horrible things. Despite this happening somewhat of a year ago, there's been a resurgence, especially on TikTok, about this whole topic because Liz has become incredibly vocal about the aftermath and the stuff that Landon put her through.
After he cheated on me, oh my god, like the minute he cheated on me, he took back his credit card, he did everything. I don't want to defend myself against it because what am I doing? Like, I just want to raise my child and for this man to leave me alone. Like, imagine going into this man's phone and finding of a picture of yourself that this guy has made and other influencers as well.
All while preaching and talking about being with a rich man, staying at home, and having a really great life. The fans' reactions to this whole thing imploding and backfiring on the female alpha, like the face of the female alpha influencing movement, has surprisingly been extremely divisive. While many people side with Liz, others think that Liz wasn't a girl's girl and went against her own judgment by not listening to Landon's ex. Other people are like indulging in the fact that she went through all of this, saying that she got what she deserved. And then on the other side, people are saying that she didn't deserve this and that people calling her a bird are just plain evil. Where has the empathy gone?
The Wizard Liz is living the antithesis of everything she preached about, and people do not have sympathy for her. She's been deported. Her baby daddy is making her life hell and like was gonna marry her just for her money, allegedly, but like Wall won't come to her to see the kid and won't make anything easy for her. And people have reacted in a way where they're like, well, she should have known better. This is exactly what she preached, and yet it happened to her. To me, it just kind of reminds me how like men can have that capacity of like literally flipping a switch. You can put on that they really care about you, and then they can completely switch it off.
However you respond to the Wizard Liz's story and the aftermath, it really left me wanting to make this video because it surrounds a bigger topic. Did people actually want to support an empowered woman? Or are empowered women only supported for as long as they come off as them winning all the time? What happens when the very content that you create ends up completely exploding in your face, thus altering the trajectory of your life and career forever? I mean, there is literally talk on, Instagram and TikTok from other people saying, how can we trust anything that she says next? People saying stuff like, I'm not following her advice because this is how it backfired on her. How can we trust her now that her life is a literal mess? The second that the Wizard Liz became vulnerable, the second she cried on live, the second she admitted she got cheated on, the second she admitted she misread flags, the second she didn't live up to her own advice and content and mindset and manifestations, all empathy went out the window.
I think that she's going to get back with him, kind of under the wraps, right? And when he has shown her and proven to her after enough time that he has changed, she will come forward publicly and say, look at this man that I changed.
And the problem is not just with one or two creators out there, it is with the entire ideology. Because every single person that coaches this type of lifestyle have revealed themselves to either not have the ideal lifestyle that they claim to have had, or have shown themselves to be projecting this whole time.
And I feel like there's such a huge paradox with what female alpha content is, and the reason why I personally kind of have a problem with female alpha content. And no, I'm not being a pick me. I absolutely loathe male alpha content too. Don't get me wrong. I spit on male alpha content, okay? But I do think when it comes to female alpha content, it's almost impossible for it to truly be set in stone. I mean, even one of the biggest alpha female creators' husband recently died. It just seems like this type of content never seems to work out entirely.
For years, I have been warning women that sprinkle ideology is a violence trap. The patriarchy is not for women to take advantage of. The entire framework is built on power dynamics. It is going to attract the worst men out there who enjoy power dynamics. And it generally cultivates relationship based on manipulation, emotional leverage, rather than connection and trust. Women cannot outplay men in the patriarchal game in order to take advantage of them, and the belief that you can is profoundly naive. And terrible men love women entangled in some type of spirituality or bigger motivation to be in that relationship because it completely clouds her judgment.
It's not about Shira and the Wizard Liz. It's so much bigger than them. It's the entire genre as a whole. Although I love the fact that female alpha content is very inspiring to women of, telling them to know your worth, don't settle for nothing, leave at the first red flag, all of these things. Many times the reason why these things happen is because female alpha content also preaches completely relying on a man financially, physically, spiritually, all these things, which we've known for years now that comes with its own dangers. Becoming high value doesn't protect you from anything.
And the problem is not just with one or two creators out there, it is with the entire ideology.
When I refer to the female alpha content paradox, it's not that I don't support it or that I don't believe in it. It's more so this concern of, can you actually become an alpha female in a world that still isn't built equally for women? And before anyone clips this and gets mad, I'm not saying women can't be successful. That's not the point. Obviously they can. Women can be richer than men, smarter than men, stronger, wiser, and even more influential. But I'm talking about the promise being sold, the knowing your worth, the setting boundaries, the never chase, attract, manifest, all these good things. The problem is that somewhere along the way, empowerment stopped meaning you deserve better and started meaning you can prevent bad things from happening to you. Let a man pay for your entire housing, food, and entire life because nothing wrong will happen ever. And that's a very toxic promise to sell anyone with any platform and any ideology. That's why despite being successful, hardworking, amazing women women who preach this type of ideology still become victims of their own narratives, even if it's completely unintentional, accidental, and downright wrong unto them and themselves. So to call the Wizard Liz and her situation hypocritical feels just a little bit victim blamey to me to a certain extent.
I sort of at first was like, why are people being so mean to her? And I still think, like, obviously she doesn't deserve to be kicked when she's down, but it is quite crazy how this is like the worst case scenario. It sort of shows like you can say the affirmations, you can have the look, you can have the following who believes in everything that you believe in, and you might not end up living it. And I think that it just shows like any kind of woman can fall into that trap.
There's this really uniquely exhausting thing about asking women to become alpha in order to earn basic respect. In female alpha content, it's all about becoming untouchable. Yet in manosphere spaces, it's completely different. There is absolutely a double standard going on here. Male alpha creators can be the worst human beings on earth and still get so much support. But female alpha creators go through something traumatic, something completely out of their control, and they're seen as hypocrites or victims to their own narrative. And I think it's because somewhere along the way, female alpha content stopped being about teaching women about how to leave bad relationships, have good standards, build confidence, and stop centering men. It started to become this expectation that all women, including the ones who represent the movement, need to completely like transcend and ascend into the skies like the Lorax beyond any human vulnerability and basically become these human beings who aren't allowed to go through anything, or else they're seen as like frauds. And surprisingly, this is where I think that female and male alpha content kind of come like to head, head on head, whatever. Point is, everyone treats alpha female and alpha male content as complete opposites, but they do have their similarities. Although, let's be honest, there is a whole background and historical connotation to the power imbalances and all that stuff. But the truth is, the reason why there is female alpha content to begin with is because as a generation, especially with the younger generation, they are growing more and more uncertain of the world around them, the economy, their self-confidence, their future, but most importantly, the dating pool and just love in general. Alpha male content promises becoming successful, becoming high value, untouchable, desirable, but so does female alpha content. Both are promising very lost and insecure people, or people who want to like level up, this falsehood of if you just become enough on either side, you're going to avoid all life's problems. And that's just not realistic. No matter how rich or hot or how many girls you get or how much weight you lose, all these things, like, because that's just not the reality of life. It just isn't. And I think the Wizard Liz situation 100% shows the reality of life. You can do everything right and have bad things still happen. You can have standards and all the boundaries, but people who are evil will still cross them. And I think that's such an uncomfortable truth when it comes to this type of content, but also of life in general. And yes, I know this video kind of went off the rails and is getting a lot deeper, but than what you maybe thought, but that's what we do here on this channel, okay? So thank you. People are acting as if the most uncomfortable part of the Wizard Liz's story is that she's a hypocrite and that she deserved it and that she didn't see it coming. I thought she was smart enough to see this coming. People saying, well, she fails to follow her own advice. The most uncomfortable lesson in the Wizard Liz story is she was never supposed to be immune to anything in the first place. The problem isn't that the Wizard Liz got hurt, it's that the internet convinced us that she wasn't supposed to. I think the Wizard Liz actually lived up to her own advice. She eventually left, she spoke up, she refused to protect him, she rebuilt. She didn't lose her worth because a man betrayed her. That's actually consistent with healthy self-worth. As I was making this video, I was kind of waiting for the conversation to center around a different person. You know, the person who allegedly cheated, manipulated, called the cops on her, threatened her, abused her. Instead, I kept seeing the conversation drift back to Liz, that she should have known and she ignored the signs, that she's a bird. The fact that people are literally celebrating it, or part of the alpha manosphere section saying, finally, we finally got an alpha female to shut up, to get humbled. He did a service to all of us. It's just disgusting. Like, it's just so bad. Did Liz make every perfect decision known to man? No, and that's okay, because she's still a human being. So do I think she's a hypocrite? No, I actually don't. What wasn't consistent was the fantasy people projected onto her. People thought she would would never pick the wrong man, she'd never ignore red flags, etc., etc. But that's not empowerment, that's perfection. So now what? Is love dead? Is it all a lie? Should we all just stay celibate as a group and sign waivers, lock ourselves away in our parents' basement because joy is fleeting and everything comes to an end? Kinda. No. As disappointing as the answer may be, despite what the internet sometimes tries to tell us or brainwash us into believing, the point of healing or becoming better or having standards and stuff like that isn't to become untouchable. The point isn't to become so evolved that nobody could ever hurt you. We're not Pokemon, okay? As much as I would love to be Bulbasaur, I just can't. The point is to learn that if someone does hurt you, you do have the power to say, absolutely not, I'm leaving, and that you can heal from it. The weird, uncomfortable truth that makes two things true at the same time is love isn't valuable because it's guaranteed. It's valuable because it absolutely is a risk. And I think, oddly enough, the reason why alpha female and alpha male content is so attractive to the younger generation is because we don't have a lot of risk takers. And that's just kind of my opinion. Every meaningful relationship requires lots of leaps of faith. Every person you love gains the ability to hurt you, and that's terrifying. And that's not me saying like, oh well, you're gonna get hurt, so deal with it, the end is nigh. Like, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to say is, all while the lizard, here I am trying to be emotional, I call her the lizard. Anyways, the wizard Liz's life story may have shattered the fantasy that there's some secret level of confidence where heartbreak can no longer reach you, but I think it's kind of freeing to realize that you don't have to. Just because you can be like perfect, hot, and rich and have everything, you can still get hurt. You also don't have to be any of those things in order to be lovable. Yeah. I ate that. Point is, your life doesn't end. You get back up, you learn, you heal, and eventually you try again. And that's exactly what the wizard Liz is doing. And despite what people are saying that she deserved it and all these things, I think this is a lesson to everyone on both sides, whether you like female or male alpha content, or if you don't care about any of this, that the reality is being human comes with its pros and cons. And the wisest people aren't the ones who avoid every single mistake. And the most confident people aren't always the ones shouting into a microphone, selling 6-week master classes, getting preventative Botox at 21, or calling themselves alpha anything. They're comfortable with being human, making mistakes, comfortable being wrong, comfortable admitting that they don't have all the answers. Being human isn't about becoming untouchable. It's about knowing your value even after life reminds you that you don't have every answer. And honestly, that's all I gotta say about that. See you in the next video. Bye. I just want to start this video by saying I appreciate you and I love you.
And you're gonna want to sit down for this video.
I'm standing up, bro. I don't care about none of this. I promised myself that after my break, I would be good. I wouldn't give in to the rage bait, but I am only one person. When faced and confronted with content like this,
Makeup bag! Get ready with me to visit my husband in rehab. Kim Kardashian! I'm not okay. I'm going to Korea. I'm going to Korea. I am not okay.
inner peace. Inner peace. I have talked about the most selfish, clout-chasing, dramatic, toxic, lying, craziest influencers and celebrities on my YouTube channel. But I think it's safe to say that Michaela Nogueira takes the whole cake, okay? In fact, she didn't take the whole cake. She went to the bakery and bought the whole damn thing. Honestly, she is that rich, but God forbid that she donates to poor children on Christmas, because that's just too far. But she will buy almost $100,000 worth of luxury items.
This is everything I got shopping in Vegas. If it's going to upset you, scroll.
Michaela Nogueira is the definition of someone who... Okay, I'm trying really hard not to be problematic right now.
Be nice. I'm finding it
It take you that long to
It
find
does. It does.
I don't want to say hypocrite, but hypocrite. From lying about her accent, faking sponsorships, filming herself crying every 2 TikToks, promoting really sus products. She'll talk about the realities of mental health, all while promoting a product during golden hours so her tears look aesthetic, staging content of her being hungover, staged content of her barely waking up to be relatable, talking about her problems with food while doing a grocery haul. Like, what is this?
I'm really struggling with my eating. With that being said, let's go to the grocery store. If you're needing a sign to take care of yourself, let this be it.
500,000 likes, by the way. There isn't a single emotion, situation, or life event that doesn't eventually become content to Michaela Nogueira. Good news becomes content, bad news becomes content, personal struggles become content, even the lowest moments somehow turn to a video. Making content all about her ex-partner's active addiction, sponsoring her wedding, and now divorce.
So this is really had to share. We've decided to split up. Oh, you thought I meant Cody. No. I'm splitting up with my split end. This is the Kerastase Nutri-Supplement Split Ends Serum.
This type of content and Michaela is kind of a perfect example of a masterclass in manipulating your audience. Weaponizing performative vulnerability and, in the weirdest, most dystopian way, monetizing a false sense of humanity. Yeah. We're getting PhD up in here, alright? She has basically perfected the most perfect formula to manipulate her audience every single time, and every single time get away with it. Hello everybody, it's me Salem, and welcome back to my commentary, Chanel, where I'm going to be talking about Michaela Nogueira.
Kim Kardashian!
Most likely you've run into this person's content through this video.
You know what? Try being an influencer for a day. Try it.
Or most recently this video where she is announcing her divorce with a full face of makeup and in golden hour, of course.
I am getting a divorce. Take a minute. Take it in. I am getting a divorce. Get ready with me for Valentine's Day!
And if you're a normal human being, you know, if you're watching me, unfortunately you probably aren't, but if you are a normal human being, you're probably watching this TikTok and you're thinking, who cares? But unfortunately, 34 million people do care. Not only did they watch, but 2 million people liked this TikTok. This is because, well, Michaela Nogueira, once upon a time a makeup guru, who now makes slop content for people whose IQ can't even burn a piece of toast. She's a big deal, okay? She even has 17 million followers on TikTok. And if you don't know who she is, I just want to let you know personally, she needs you to know who she is. This is not the first video she's made where she is crying her eyes out, or at least making some sort of content to give herself attention, or to start some sort of drama just for her to promote a product that she's launching in the very next TikTok that she makes. Whether you see Michaela Nogueira as a great makeup artist, someone who's entertaining, or someone who profits off of her own misery and manipulating her audience, the truth is that she's both. I've seen a lot of content creators go from rags to riches, and obviously we all know that money absolutely changes people. We've seen people become tone deaf, lie their way to the top, clout chase and everything, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone be the actual case study to literally what I've always talked about on my YouTube channel. Believe it or not, this person that you see right now flaunting their wealth and has literal rooms filled with free stuff rich companies send her did not start off like this, okay? The person who constantly cries on camera, who constantly manipulates their audience, who
Imagine ordering hot pot and your waitress comes gliding over like she's running on Windows XP. No expression, just joints creaking. Bro, China right now looks like the early versions of Cyberpunk. Because everywhere you look, there's a robot. Patrolling the streets, running marathons, pouring hot broth in your bowl, dancing at the spring festival, or even violently malfunctioning like your local tweakers. It's giving Black Mirror but filmed on Douyin. Because how do we go from aw, cute robot, to what if I become one too? Let's begin with the robots that woke up one day and just chose law enforcement. In Shenzhen, police launched a squad of humanoid officers named PM01. These little silver dudes wearing neon yellow police vests like they're doing traffic control at a rave. The specs? 1.38 meters tall, 40 kilograms, 88,000 yuan. That's $12,000, which is crazy cheap for a cop that doesn't even need lunch breaks. Now, they walk in formation with actual police officers, so they can wave at pedestrians, shake hands, respond to voice commands, scan their surroundings. Basically, if Wally got hired by the Chinese government. And here's the thing, they're not replacing cops, they're just assistants. So if you commit a crime, don't worry, the robot's not gonna arrest you. It'll just politely say, please don't do that, while the human officer tackles you to the ground. There was a case where even a wheel-equipped patrol robot helped find a missing 3-year-old. Honestly, respect. That robot's doing more for society than most DD drivers out there. But the public is split. Some say they're cute, some say they're the future. But listen, if a robot gives me a jaywalking ticket, I'm unplugging it myself. I think we're screwed. That is crazy work. He knew what he was doing. All fun and games until he, charges at the couple in front of him. Honestly, he's not so much different from me either. You see, robots are cool until they malfunction and suddenly it's fight or flight. Now, when you think of China's Spring Festival, fireworks, lion dances, an unforgettable night, well, that last part was true. Because apparently there were killer robots. Because during a Tianjin Lunar New Year gala, Unitree Robotics unleashed the Hound, their H1 humanoid robot. See, at first it was performing, traditional dances. Pretty wholesome, right? Until it lunged directly at the audience. Now, this wasn't a stumble. They literally did a full bull charge into the crowd. Luckily there were fences. Eventually, Unitree had to come out and release a statement, and you know what they said? They blamed it on a sensor error. A sensor error on a 47 kilogram, 180 centimeter tall robot sprinting at full speed. Edison said he was finally fed up with the company. And honestly, valid crash out. Others were like, it probably just tripped, which is cute. Until you realize, tripping for a 47 kilogram metal man could just mean flattening 3 audience members. Okay, let's give credit where credit's due, because sometimes the robots do work. Unitree H1 robots actually did perform the Chinese folk dances Yangge, 16 of them, moving in perfect sync, like it's a robot K-pop group. This was directed by Zhang Yimou, which is also the guy behind the 2008 Beijing Olympic ceremony opening. If anyone can make robots emotional, it's him. Because the robots danced, jumped, did choreography, and didn't attempt to attack the audience this time. Now in April of 2025, Beijing hosted its first robot half marathon alongside the human one. The idea? Let's showcase technological progress. In reality, let's host a live show featuring 20 robots who trained for absolutely nothing. So more than 20 of these robots lined up to run. One robot collapsed before the race even started. Didn't even hear the gun, just died. Another ran straight into the railing like it rage quit life. They left the scene. One of the robots named Juan walked off the track, sat down, and just refused to stand up. The most relatable thing I've seen so far. And the best one? A robot lost its head mid-run but kept sprinting. And the staff chased the head down like they were cleaning after a toddler. Engineers didn't raise no quitter. This wasn't a race. It was pretty much a group therapy session for these robots. Now, a hot pot restaurant in Chongqing went completely viral for having a beautiful robot waitress. Serves dishes, pours tea, drinks with customers, and moves like she runs on AAA batteries. It's like she's spamming emotes. Is it okay if I touch the robot? Is it illegal for me to touch it? Will she get angry if I touch her? As you can see, they're everywhere, but it's evolved to this point now. What is Unk trying to look at?
加油，同学。
我在。
你让我一卡一卡的。
我好像没有油了。
过来跟我扶会儿啊。
I'm not gonna transmogrify him until I have a cool set.
给我来点水水。
可乐、雪碧、柠檬茶。好，这是你需要的橙汁吗？
Now everybody thought it was just a prototype for a robot waitress. Turns out, she's a 28-year-old dancer named Miss Chin. She's so good at robotic movement that nobody could notice. This girl single-handedly defeated the entire robotics industry using nothing but dance training and commitment. This is the only robot I trust to serve me food. And this is where it gets weird. Like, really weird. They've just replaced the reception desk with them too. What? Da Lao Tian, 5 million followers, 30 years old. She didn't cosplay a robot. She became one. Her signature look, silver bodysuit, light blue robot eyes, short bob wig, stiff mechanical posture, and facial expressions set to factory default settings. She's so convincing she tricked AI detection systems into thinking her videos were generated. Her upgrades costed her over 1 million yuan, $140,000, just for her face and chest. Essentially, she chromed herself out. And she actually went back home to her Sichuan village dressed as a robot. The aunties immediately swarmed her like she was a vending machine giving out free money. They poked her arms, stared at her joints, and asked if they were real. And of course, the classic Chinese auntie line came out. Do you have a boyfriend? One auntie dragged a local dude over to introduce them. Even robots can't escape matchmaking season. Meanwhile, at a robot conference, companies said, we need attention, and hired more people to pretend to be robots. So special effects makeup, metallic suits, glossy lips. The models had to stand perfectly still while the visitors poked their lips and their mouths to see if they were real. And some people literally wiped their lipstick off to confirm. Completely legal, by the way. Why are they British? Why? It's obviously a real person. No shame. And of course, the models can't react because they're in character. Imagine having to just stand there like you're running low on battery while strangers fingerprint you like it's a crime scene. Like, I kind of feel bad for them, but they also kind of signed up for this. A lot of these companies don't explicitly say if this model is a real person or not because there's just too many people. The event's huge. They didn't clarify things. So when people found out that they were pinching the cheeks of a real person, some were traumatized, others quickly signed up for next year's event. Yeah, that is pretty wild. It turns out that only Chinese people deceive other Chinese people. Spot on. Now the opposite happened at a Beijing robotics exhibition. They were showcasing actual humanoid robots and new technology. But two Douyin influencers, Da Lao Tian, the same one we talked about, and Cat K, trespassed onto the official robot runway. They blended in so well that China thought they achieved sentient skincare. You know what the organizers said? We did not hire these girls. They just walked in. A lot of netizens said they felt tricked, saying this misleads investors about robotics progress. Okay, if your investor can't tell the difference between a human and a robot, maybe don't take their money. China right now is pretty much serving the most unhinged mix of robots cosplaying females and functioning adults cosplaying robots. But one thing is for sure, robots, predictable. You code them, they run sometimes. You tell them to wave, they wave. You tell them to dance, they dance or charge at the audience. But humans? Nah, unpatchable. No software update can fix us. Because I am just one malfunction away from being this robot. Have you ever wanted to learn Chinese martial arts to fend for your life? Well, if it doesn't look like this, then don't even try. Because you won't even come close to understanding the true intricacies of Kung Fu. If you spent more than 5 minutes on social media, you've definitely seen those clips of unks splitting bricks with their bare hands. Or a kung fu master who says he's been cultivating chi for the past 40 years. Just to get slimed by an MMA hobbyist. Now here's a quick example. Liu Longquan, he claimed descent from legendary healer Hua Tuo, master of internal energy, and the ability to knock people down without touching them. According to him, because he can't find any opponents, his daily routine consists of beating his students. But he even went further. Liu said his power wasn't even martial arts at all. It was psychic energy, cultivated from years of chanting and meditation. Essentially, bro thought he was built different. Until he challenged a Japanese bodybuilder. He collapsed immediately, losing several teeth. No chi, no psychic shield. It's clear his powers only worked on actors, stage performers, and television audiences. But against a real opponent, you better start praying. So how did it get this bad? Well, if fake martial arts masters had a tier list, Ma Baoguo is an S tier. One of the biggest kung fu masters at the time. Ma introduced himself as the master of Hunyuan Xingyi Tai Chi, the ultimate fusion of Tai Chi, Xingyi, and Bagua. The creator of the new infamous technique, Lightning 5 Whips. He's trying to power scale above Goku at this point. But there was one issue. For a man claiming unbeatable combat power, nobody has ever seen him fight. And that all changed when Mao Baoguo entered the ring with Wang Qingmin, an amateur fighter, not a professional one. He was just a guy who trains and spars. And what happened next became internet history. Within 30 seconds, Mao was knocked down 3 times. Let that sink in. 30 seconds. No lightning, no 5 whips, just punches. He's just not in the right state of mind right now.
Shit.
The look of a man realizing internal energy does not pay rent. Now this entire thing blew up, especially with Ma's copium arc here. After getting absolutely cooked, Ma Baoguo didn't say, "I lost. I underestimated him. Maybe I should train differently." No. He said he was protecting the young man. He deliberately chose not to counterattack. His opponent lacked martial ethics. What a saint. You should be happy that he didn't use his gravitational pull against you.
我呢，本来不该说的，为啥当时我手没有劲，手抬不起来？为什么？我想不通嘛。又模拟，模拟一下，然后叫那个引力刺激你，手嘛你肯定是让别人也暗算了嘛。
哦，你觉得是？
有人到位。
没有证据吗？这个说
没有证据，所以你不能乱说，只能私下的朋友里面再我探讨探讨。
And netizens responded with zero mercy. He was crowned the godfather of kung foolery. You see, at this point, any normal person would just disappear. Ma Baoguo, he doubled down. A few months later, Ma released a new promotional video. This time he was fighting a British amateur boxing champion. The message was clear. See, I still got it. I'm still in my prime. Y'all are talking nonsense. Except people later found out that the champion was paid to lose. Straight up, like the fight was scripted and it was all for promotional material. And after all that hate, he finally announced his retirement from the martial arts world. It looked like the end of the story for Ma Baoguo. Maybe he finally moved to a rural town in Chongqing. But early this year, Ma Baoguo made a comeback. Not as a fighter, but as a nightclub dancer. These clubs were paying him around 100 to 200,000 yuan per appearance. What does he do? He performs his signature Lightning 5 Whips, but now as a dance. You know, maybe this is where all martial artists end up eventually. She doesn't even have the fundamentals down. You see, like, it just lacks soul, and until you can truly grasp the essence of the 5-strike lightning technique, you know, don't even bother to make a fool out of yourself. And he also sells merch on live streams. Now, the media still calls him a fraud, but netizens, they call him a nightclub legend. Bro went from fake master to public humiliation to getting cancelled and ended up spamming emotes as a career. Ma says he has put the past behind him and is now leading a peaceful life. Well, he didn't defeat his haters. Instead, he turned them into his customers. Now, this kind of affected everyone though, because Ma's collapse didn't just embarrass himself, it pretty much embarrassed the entire martial arts ecosystem. Soon after, the Chinese Sports Administration issued official notices of extermination, calling for a ban of self-proclaimed masters, cracking down on false advertising, and prohibiting unauthorized fights. Essentially, they're just saying, these clowns are a disgrace to the image of Chinese martial arts. But you can't stop them all. Their spiritual awakenings are way too powerful for you mere mortals. Take Yan Fang, a Tai Chi practitioner in Hainan, China. She waves her hands and people fall backwards like they just got struck by invisible lightning. She called it electric shock Tai Chi, essentially thunder breathing. I felt it through the screen. I feel like it's made me even more Chinese. It hit him so hard he went for a sprint. Hit him so hard he just left. He just went home. Fierce opponent. He's going for round 2. He's also going home. For a second I thought she was about to puke on her. So why do fake masters keep existing? 1. Traditional art does not equal combat sports. This is the part that a lot of people always miss. A lot of traditional Chinese martial arts prioritize health, emphasize philosophy, and focus on choreography and form. Much different from like modern combat sports where you get right hooked to the face. Because Tai Chi trained for health will not survive against MMA trained for violence. So these disasters happen when a teacher who's never sparred claims combat supremacy over others, rejects modern training, and calls punches low-level external force. That's how you get cooked within 30 seconds. 2. There is serious money in this. Let's not be naive. Fake masters exist because they pay well. They sell seminars, online courses, internal energy manuals, and of course, miracle medicines. Ma Baoguo's lightning whip wasn't just for jokes. Okay, it was a product. And Yan Fang's classes generated huge amounts of income from community elders. In rural areas especially, people want shortcuts to self-defense and they want spiritual health. They respect ancient tradition there. So when someone claims ancient wisdom, they listen. Number 3, cultural protection. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When frauds wrap themselves in traditional culture, exposing them becomes political. Local officials don't want scandals, cultural embarrassment, or humiliation. So sometimes it's easier just to ignore the frauds and just save face. But not all heroes wear capes. Which brings us to the man who refused to shut up. Su Xiaodong, nicknamed the Mad Dog. Without him, most of these stories wouldn't even have been exposed. Now, Su is an amateur MMA coach from Beijing. Loud, aggressive, unapologetic. He challenged Wei Lei. Zhu threw a few jabs and a right cross. Wei Lei dropped, covered his head, and stayed down. Now this video went viral in minutes. It got the whole martial arts council stressing. And the best part, Zhu wasn't just exposing one man. He offered a challenge. 1.2 million yuan for any traditional master who could beat him. His logic was simple. If qi is real, prove it. Now Zhu and Mao Baoguo actually had history. Before they could fight, Ma allegedly called the police. The beef never got resolved in the ring. Ma said, "I defeated Su spiritually." Ah yes, because when reality doesn't work, philosophy always does. But culturally, Zhu already won. Now guess what? After all of this, Zhu Xiaodong did not get praised. He got punished. The Chinese Wushu Association accused him of damaging martial virtues and insulting traditional culture. Some media framed him as attacking Chinese heritage. Zhu's response? "I'm not attacking Kung Fu. I'm attacking the fake Kung Fu." He compared it to food. You eat pork and beef, not rats. Absolute bars. But the system didn't care. In 2019, a court ordered him to pay 400,000 yuan to Chen Xiaowang for calling him a fraud. He also had to publicly apologize for 7 days. His social credit score downgraded to D. Probably the worst thing that could ever happen to you in China. So he can't use any high-speed trains and he's restricted from certain hotels. His social media accounts wiped. To survive online, Su has to appear in clown makeup to hide his face, and also use a fake name if challenging others. He's accepted that he may never compete publicly in China ever again. And without him, it's gone crazy, especially with this next case right here. Now, before anyone says, bro, this is just a China problem, it's made its way over to Vietnam as well. Not only that, but here it's become an entire cult of fake masters and students. There's a Vietnamese martial arts leader who basically turned fake chi into a full business model. This man claims he can channel electricity through his body, knock people down with one finger, and stop swords with his stomach. This guy wears a suit like he's a corporate villain, and his students fly backwards, twitch on the floor, and collapse like NPCs. Did a whole shuffle before hitting him. They're just showing off now. Just a mere touch already got him like that. Now, real martial arts experts have said that this is fake, these are staged, and they're just performances. But that didn't stop him. He built a mini empire. Sham demonstrations, mystic teachings, paid followers, and absolute devotion from his disciples. Not just fake fighting, but a whole belief. So, is all Kung Fu fake? Absolutely not. Traditional martial arts like Wing Chun and Chin style Tai Chi work when actually trained realistically. The problem isn't the art itself, it's the 1% who claims supernatural abilities. They reject actual modern training and use this tactic to exploit students. The actual fraudulent part happens when someone says, I can teach you reverse curse technique. At the end of the day, this entire fake master trend isn't really that complicated. It's not some grand mystery of Kung Fu being fake or like ancient culture being useless. It's just a form of marketing, and when people stop testing things and just believe whatever they see. Because real fighting is boring, you know? It's conditioning, footwork, timing, and getting hit in the face more times than you'd like. Fake fighting is way better for business. No bruises, you know, no losses, just that internal energy. And that's how you end up with dudes who've never sparred in their life explaining why punches don't work on them until someone throws a right hook. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you gotta put up those fists, make sure you have your 6 chakras unlocked so you can cultivate your airbending techniques. In the world of Douyin live streamers and Chinese socialite programs, how can you do something so diabolical that your name becomes a national insult? Or post a single video that makes you lose over 4 million followers? We're talking about one of the most unhinged Douyin influencer dramas to this day. This is Zheng Yanzi, or Stephanie Zhang. She's a Douyin influencer, and unlike the usual pretty face plus lip syncing formula, she actually had personality and she was known for making silly content. Early on, she was part of this goofy goddess duo group, her and another creator, He Dan Tong. Now, they were weird, and they blew up because they were weird, because you usually don't expect this sort of goofiness from somebody that looks like this. It was all fun and games, and you know, it was just silly videos, but eventually He Dan Tong pivoted to fashion and just dipped, while Stephanie stayed exactly where she was. She always insisted, I didn't get popular because I'm pretty, I got popular because I'm stupid. Honestly, respect. And by 2024, she had millions of followers, a solid brand, and a reputation that was harmless. Just an unserious creator with no scandals, no drama, no messy dating history. So what happened next hit like a truck. In April of 2024, out of nowhere, after 6 months of silence, Stephanie posts a pregnancy announcement. Now, this would be a godly PR stunt if you didn't have to face the consequences. Fans went wild. Wait, what? She had a man this whole time? Who's the dad? And here's the thing, in every photo, this man was always blurred out. Now, netizens noticed that in the pictures here, you can clearly see that there is some distortion within the background and his arms looked kind of weird. So even the smallest detail, they caught on. Chinese netizens aren't stupid. If you even edit a single portion of your photo, that's like putting up a sign saying, please investigate me. They immediately started digging through old videos, backgrounds, photos, furniture, reflections. The FBI could never. And that's when they noticed something strange. There was this 190 centimeter tall Douyin creator. His name was Han Yi, who had been popping up around Stephanie's place in many photos. The reflections in the photos had the same layout, same boxes, and even the same arm tattoos that were conveniently blurred out in the other post. So it turns out they not only blurred his tattoos, but also made his arms bigger. Netizens connected the dots and went, so that's the mystery man. They asked Stephanie about it. Her response? I have no idea who that is. People started asking, why hasn't he acknowledged the pregnancy? His response? It's a sunny day. Come along with me to go grocery shopping in my Ferrari. Now, as people kept clowning her for being pregnant while her father is hiding like a witness protection program member, Han finally posted. He uploads a photo of him and Stephanie, but just her back view. For you, my love will be an unwavering and permanent commitment. Yeah, people were not impressed. I mean, it makes sense. He doesn't even dare to post a picture of her face directly. Like, he just shows her back. I mean, this looks more like one of those mermaid performance services than a pregnancy announcement. And only after relentless pressure did they start posting more couple content. At this point, it looked like your typical influencer girl plus 6-foot male model webtoon protagonist. Except you find out this guy isn't actually who he says he is. One day, a random female netizen decides to drop a bombshell. And I mean a whole list. She dropped timestamps, behavior patterns, and allegations that were so specific it made people uncomfortable. Essentially, we were getting the receipts while they were still being printed. According to her, she met Han in February of 2022. He slid into her DMs on Douyin. First date? Slept together. She says they used protection, but Han claimed that it was uncomfortable, so he removed it midway. He sends her about 100 yuan, says it's for medicine, then deletes her from his contacts days later. So this female netizen told all of this info to Stephanie to warn her about this man, and what happened the next day? She posts them getting a custom-made wedding dress together. Of course, the female netizen is like, what? After that, she just decides to go hog wild and go public with everything. The female netizen said that Han decided to contact her on WeChat again, but she declined because she suspected that he was doing this with multiple women at the time, but eventually she still folded. They met during New Year's every single year for 3 consecutive years. She couldn't resist the charm of our male protagonist that, already had a pregnant wife. After every meetup, she claims that he took her phone and deleted all their chat histories. When she asked what he was doing, he said he was checking notes. This shit is worse than the weather app excuse. Add women on WeChat, block them on Douyin, chat records disappear, evidence gone. He allegedly referred to women as YP, which is a slang for Yue Pao, which means casual hookups. Wiping his traces after each encounter, this man was running relationships in incognito. So the female netizen only realized he wasn't single when Stephanie's pregnancy announcement went viral. Like, imagine doom scrolling and finding out that the man you slept with is gonna be a father. She debated staying silent, but eventually she and her friends felt Stephanie deserved to know, especially because there was a baby involved. And this is where it gets crazy. Turns out Han actually used to work at a White Horse Club. For those who don't know, it's a male host club. But after business started to dry up, he reinvented himself as your typical wealthy second-generation socialite. The tall, rich, and mysterious international student. Mind you, this guy is not rich. He started dating rich women to fund his lifestyle. It was also revealed that Stephanie spent over 2 million yuan on cosmetic surgery for her and for Han. Yeah, she basically financed his entire face. As you can see, he's not portraying Douyin model attributes. So what do? Oh, just hyaluronic acid filters, cheekbone enhancements, jaw modification, and boom, manufactured straight out the factory. And he even wore shoulder pads to make his head look smaller. 3 shoulder pads, by the way, like he didn't think how weird it looks when people saw it. On camera, you can modify your angles, but in real life, it looks like you didn't just skip legs. You skipped everything except for shoulders. And after this, so many memes came out clowning him and just making fun of this entire situation. At this point, he kind of trademarked his shoulder pad look. Now, once this entire scandal with Han went viral, in the span of 4 days, Stephanie lost 4 million followers. Going from 14 million followers, one of Douyin's biggest influencers, down to 10 million. I mean, it's still a lot, but losing 4 million followers in the span of less than a week is insane. Now, seeing all of this come out, Stephanie finally confronted Han. He got angry and defensive. Classic. But even after all of this, she hesitated to leave him. During a live stream, she broke down crying, saying how she didn't want to falsely accuse the child's father. Meanwhile, Han hops on his own live stream and says, "I love Stephanie. The rumors are fake." And somehow people believed him. Some were like, he's actually handsome though. Maybe he's misunderstood. Either way, both of them gained massive traffic. But a couple of weeks later, the relationship officially ended. Han put out a massive response. "She did this to increase her popularity, and I'm being framed. So of course I want to meet other girls. I didn't think we were really in a relationship. She wouldn't even let me tell the truth." He claims that every time he tried to post something, her scary influencer team would swoop in and take his phone away and control him. And to top it all off, he accused her of smoking, drinking, doing everything during her pregnancy, just completely trying to destroy her image. Now, Stephanie finally put out a response to this because how could you not, right? And her response pretty much got everybody on her side. She didn't stop him from posting, and he would take her money as well. She says that she lost the baby due to stress, and she has records to prove it. Now, going back to the dress video that she posted a day after Han got exposed, she clarifies that that video was actually filmed months before, and she only posted it during that day to calm down the online traffic, because at the time she was emotional, she was stressed, and she just wanted to figure out everything first. Now, she funded this man absolutely everything you'd ask for during Christmas. She bought him an Apple Vision Pro, yes, the Apple headset that costs more than some people's rent, phones, shoes, clothing, covered, all luxury designer by the way. Daily meals, she cooked and bought all of it. Travel tickets and hotels, she books those too. Meanwhile, what was Han doing? Sleeping until 3 p.m. Han had no income, no job, and he kept yelling at her in the morning to tell her to quiet down. Well, she couldn't really quiet down because she had to wake up in the morning at 8 a.m. every day so that she could live stream constant hours of selling products, recording content, and building her business. And he was just enjoying his fake socialite lifestyle funded by her. So when Stephanie was working from morning to night, he was posting about the new horse he just bought with her money. After this, netizens started cooking him non-stop, and even more things came out about him. Han had actually tried to hook up with a Beijing influencer named Qiao Jie. Plot twist, Qiao Jie is a guy. Han wanted to suckle his teeth into some freebies and clout, but he got rejected. He also stole facial cleanser once from a convenience store. Brother, your girlfriend is buying you Vision Pros and you are stealing skincare? Like, at this point, everybody was just confused like what kind of sick man this was. And well, as time went on, he finally put out an apology video, essentially now saying that he's become a changed man. I was young, I was stupid, but now I've changed. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I also created a new shoulder pad mold that you guys can go buy right now. Just click the link in the description.
我错了，我服了。来，本人承诺啊，我和郑分开到今日，如果交往过女朋友或发生过男女关系，能证明者或当事人，咱们直接奖励100W 啊。你还不掉下吗？
All of this happened in that apology livestream. He sold over 10,000 shoulder pads. I mean, you know the video's probably gonna go viral anyway, so might as well promote your products. Isn't it crazy, after doing all of these unhinged things, ruining somebody's life, you decide to apologize and then promote your products at the very end? And yeah, that's where it concludes. As of today, there are no major updates. Stephanie continues to upload her silly videos, and honestly, she seems pretty happy. Han also continues to upload, except his name is now used as a national insult. Yeah, probably one of the most diabolical influencer stories yet. So if there's one key takeaway from this story, never trust somebody whose shoulders look wider than usual. Hey, you see that? Have you been manipulated yet? Congratulations, you are welcome to my Chinese flirting and dating training camp. So right now on Douyin, people are noticing these viral clips of essentially women teaching you how to flirt in ways to manipulate men and infiltrate the wealthy second generational hierarchy, while also promoting their so-called dating mentor training camps. Like, I know, you're just trying to not get left on red. Me too, okay? But then you get these videos of grown adults practicing seductive eye contact on you. And the promise they sell is pretty simple. Women can pay money to come here and learn how to upgrade their charm, master manipulation tactics, and essentially lock down a man. A 3-day, 3-night training camp. These camps include multiple training modules, including psychology, healing. All I'm seeing here are massive green flags. But when you actually start looking into what goes on around in these camps, it starts to get a bit questionable. Now, where did this all start? First of all, the videos of these instructors constantly frame relationship problems in a very specific way. If your marriage is struggling and your partner is distant, then your marriage has no passion anymore. And the explanation they give is always pretty much the same. You don't have enough sexual charm, therefore you need to learn new skills. Emotional understanding, communication, nah. Your problems in your relationships, it's just a massive skill issue. And during the courses, the instructors present a pretty outdated worldview. Man, women, cooking, hunting. On top of that, they encourage students to buy expensive cosmetic procedures and surgeries. That's usually how the cycle starts to begin. And once these videos started spreading everywhere, the spotlight eventually landed on one person, the most famous instructor connected to these camps, a woman who built her entire brand on what she calls sexual intelligence. Her name is Zhou Yuan, also known as the godmother of sexual intelligence. Yeah, that's the title that she gave herself. Zhou Yuan is currently in her late 40s, and surprisingly, she didn't even start in this entire relationship coaching world at all. She originally worked at a bank, but I guess one day she just decided that that. You know what China needs? A National Academy for Flirting. She founded something called the Black and White Sexual Intelligence School. And one of Zhou's most famous teachings, her world-renowned X-shaped look back. This technique went viral on Douyin because people just couldn't stop laughing at how specific she explained this technique. Basically, if you face somebody directly, it can look intimidating or even scary, like how I'm doing right now. Am I scaring you? I hope I am. But if you angle your body slightly sideways and create an X shape with your posture and your gaze, just like this, you're suddenly cute and charming. Is it working? Am I doing it right?
此刻你在交往，交往，干嘛？干嘛？我只眼神给出去，你在交往，干嘛？是不是感觉不一样？我的眼神给出去了，我的身体形成了一个 X 型。什么叫 X 型？我的眼神往这里，身体是往这里形成交叉型，而不是你干嘛？转过来，干嘛？干嘛？这是没有发现。是你知道吗？肢体动作多了就没有那种权威性，因为你会发现，只要动作越少，你越高级。我动作少，我的眼神出去，而且从这个角度去看，是最美的角度，正的看会显出很呆板，侧看。
Now, of course, body language does matter in social interaction, but the way she explains it is as if relationships are all based upon proper angles and positioning. Sorry, bro, she didn't like you because your eye contact triangle was just incorrect. Another thing Zhou teaches is something she calls voice softening. According to her lessons, women should lower their intensity and speak more gently with men when flirting. But when asking for help, women should specifically raise their pitch a little bit at the end of every sentence while adding compliments. So instead of saying, "Yo, can you help me with this?" it's more like, "You're really good at this. Can you help me with this?" What? Basically layering the request with some praise. Nothing revolutionary here. But she presents it like it's some high-level psychological strategy. And with all these videos combined, she built a multi-course, multi-tier empire. At the lowest level, she sells online courses, which are priced at 9.9 yuan, 99 yuan, and 999 yuan. See, if she was smart, she should have priced that at 998 yuan. One of her major online courses is called the Authoritative Training Camp. This course costs 999 yuan and is divided into 3 modules: emotion, charm, and healing. The emotional module focuses on psychological relationships. The charm module focuses on female taste and specific attitudes, if you know what I mean, along with certain techniques. And the healing module is helping women rebuild confidence. Zhou often explains that her courses are systematically designed, and you can clearly see that right here.
老公，你们知道我怎么跟我老公打电话了吗？老公，三招的第一步，哼哼唧唧，哼，看到没有？
What is blessing my ears right now? Beyond the online courses, Zhou also offers offline camps. We got courses like Fox-style seduction arts, emotional anchoring, Geisha gaze enchantment. This shit sounds like a whole skill tree. And for the most elite clients, yeah, I'm talking about you. You're right there. Zhou offers a top-tier Vixen course for about a small price of 100,000 yuan. Yeah, $15,000, but for love. Remember, this is a short-term investment. Long-term, maybe you'll have 20 husbands. And that course specifically focuses on conquering men. I promise, it ain't that deep. Just compliment them once and they are already thinking about marriage. But here's where things start getting really interesting, because former students have started exposing these online curriculums. For example, somebody who attended the WoW Paradise 3-day, 3-night training camp posted screenshots describing the entire class. There would be students divided into smaller groups, about 8 to 10 people, and instructors would sometimes target certain participants and pressure them into upgrading their enrollment by buying more courses. Many students were even criticized or even belittled during the classes in a way to push them into buying more coaching. And it gets even stranger because during some of these classes, instructors would demonstrate certain explicit actions in a way to conquer men with the right dirty methods. Yeah, actually demonstrating them. And immediately after these demonstrations, they would just start promoting their hygiene products to the students, priced at 598 yuan per box. So you pay thousands to attend, they tell you the secrets are in the next course, and then the next course cost even more money. This meant that financially, Zhou's operation was huge. Her paid courses generated over 24 million yuan, which is about $3.5 million. And her program had tens of thousands of students. Like, can you believe that? Her promotional videos essentially said that her mission was to help women develop confidence that radiates from the soul to the body. And Zhou claims that she holds certifications as a psychological counselor, but she never showed proof. I can now imagine waking up on Friday morning, looking at my inbox and seeing, congratulations, you have paid, accepted, and have been invited to our top tier deep voice flirting training program that begins on Friday. We'll see you there. So in this case, I used Proton Mail, also the sponsor of today's video. Now, Proton is actually built very differently from like most email providers because your messages actually stay the same between you and the person you're sending it to. They essentially use this end-to-end encryption or zero access encryption, which pretty much means that nobody can see your emails. Like, even Proton won't be able to see your emails. They also operate out of Switzerland, which has like really strict privacy laws, so you're in pretty good hands. That's one of the main reasons Proton has grown over 100 million users wide, because I mean, people don't want an email provider that is based on advertising. There's no ads, there's no inbox scanning, and no hidden trackers to like look at your emails. They also built something called FishGuard, which automatically flags any suspicious emails. Perfect for those high-level relationship academy links. And if you're worried about switching, you can migrate your Gmail inbox in just a couple of clicks. So if you want an easy, private, and safe email, check out Proton Mail using the link in the description or use proton.me/Wani. Thank you, Proton, for sponsoring this video and helping me pay the bills. Let's get back to the story. At first, the criticism mainly came from netizens online. They started mocking Zhou Yuan's content and calling it like mistress training, which makes sense because it's literally just teaching women how to use manipulative attraction. You take outdated ideas and you add some like psychological buzzwords to it, slap on a luxury training camp, and suddenly it becomes a premium self-improvement program.
刚刚在商场一眼就注意到你了，哎，你穿这个衣服走起路来好带派哦，太有气质了。还有推你微信的时候跟我讲过你的人品超靠谱，刚刚看了你的朋友圈，你就长了一张不会骗人的脸。
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a very dangerous tactic because like, I'm folding. Also, what is going on with the background? So, eventually, the government stepped in, and in August of 2025, Chinese authorities issued new guidelines targeting content related to sexual health and relationships. This was clearly aimed at people like Zhou Yuan, who were mixing relationship coaching with sexual health claims and product promotions. And things escalated even further, because back in January, her Douyin account got permanently banned. Her online store called Heibai Dianzhou was also permanently shut down. At the same time, authorities in Changsha Yuhua district launched a joint investigation into her business activities. They specifically said that they were examining whether her advertising strategies and methods were violating Chinese law. That should be the end of the story, right? Well, not exactly. Because people found out that offline classes were still happening. They were just disguised as things like psychological tutorials. So while Zhou Yuan was dealing with the bans and the investigations, there was another figure in the dating mentor world. Someone whose approach was arguably even more controversial. Her name is, and I'm serious, Choo Choo the Big Woman. Choo Choo? Choo Choo's branding was something else entirely different. Her message was basically, relationships are a business transaction. So yeah, she went straight to the meat of it. Now, Choo Choo didn't originally plan to become a relationship guru. Her original dream was actually to become a singer, and her parents invested huge amounts of money into her musical education, and eventually she was accepted into Wuhan University as a music major, which is actually very impressive, but unfortunately for her music career, her singing just never really stood out, so the entertainment path wasn't really working. Choo Choo then started posting videos on Bilibili. At first, she tried uploading singing content, and like before, her audience was not very pleased, nor really cared. So instead of singing, she decided to talk about relationships and social mobility. And almost overnight, her videos exploded in popularity. She completely just rebranded herself as the emotional guru, or the emotional anchor. Her whole narrative was that she understood women in low economical backgrounds because she had once been in that position herself. And instead of giving romantic advice about love or compatibility, nah, her approach, men are channels, emotions are skills. Everything is for my use. And one of her most famous lines, the essence of relationships is the exchange of value, and without value, there is no affection. Damn. Choo Choo also categorized men into different types. For example, talent scouts, emperors, businessmen, and what she calls useless men. She encouraged her viewers to specifically match themselves with the right type depending on what they wanted. Basically, find a wealthy partner, improve your financial situation, climb the ladder. Now, obviously, this message was extremely controversial, and even with all the backlash, Choo Choo's operation somehow topped Zhou Yuan's. A single relationship lesson from her cost 3,500 yuan, and her annual income reportedly reached 140 million. So that's about 20 million US dollars annually. All from giving relationship advice, which is honestly insane. And she constantly advises women to rely on wealthy men. But the ironic thing is that she herself became wealthy through entrepreneurship and doing a business. So she's literally the one proving you that you don't need a rich partner to be successful. And of course, authorities started paying attention to her content as well. So in late 2024, her Weibo account was suspended. But a couple of months later, she got fined 7.5 million yuan for tax evasion, which is not exactly a small fine. Despite that, she still didn't disappear. She just kept promoting her brand through like offline channels or private direct channels. There's always a way to avoid these platform bans by just doing business directly. The thing is, many investigations have shown that these training camps are directly connected to things like beauty clinics and cosmetic surgeries. Some camps even partner with beauty salons to offer surgeries like pelvic contraction procedure. And of course, the camp organizers earn commission when the students agree to these surgeries. So when you look at this entire industry, it's part of a huge network involving product sales, cosmetic surgery, and psychological marketing. Fun. Listen guys, real relationships aren't built on manipulation tactics or certain gazing angles. They're built on not leaving you on red. Not speaking from personal experience. So if you ever catch me pitching dating advice online, just remember, I'm probably just trying to get rid of the competition. You like and subscribe? As you guys can see, I'm back in my sweet man cave. You know I had a mattress behind me before, don't ask why. Imagine grinding all year. School, work, absolutely everything. You finally go home for the new year. You're tired, you're jet lagged, and you walk right through the door before you can even take your shoes off. Some relative you haven't even seen since 2012 locks eyes with you and says, "So, when are you getting married?" Now in most countries, this is just plain small talk. In China, it's a yearly performance review. Be prepared for real consequences. And because this pressure happens every single year, Chinese people, being absolutely innovators when it comes to problem solving, said, what if I just rent a girlfriend? You essentially sign up for a free trial, but without the free part. Every Lunar New Year, Chinese social media explodes with posts about renting boyfriends and girlfriends to bring back home. Some services even advertise shopping malls having shared boyfriends for just about 1 yuan an hour. Others offer full-on fake relationship packages, meeting parents, staged dates, wedding photos, banquets, and yes, even fake marriage certificates if you're really that committed. You know, the thing is, we're just trying to survive the family dinner, you know, the absolute bare minimum. Of course, we don't want to end up on this. Now, it's really important to understand how intense marriage pressure is in China, especially for men. Imagine you're in your late 20s or 30s, you're single, you live in a big city for work, maybe you go home once or twice a year. To your parents and relatives, this translates to, something is wrong with you. Because thanks to decades of the one-child policy and a strong preference for boys, China now has a huge gender imbalance. Combine that with working long hours and parents trying to set you up on blind dates that feel like HR interviews. So suddenly, when Lunar New Year comes around, maybe renting a girlfriend is a bit more reasonable. You show up with them and parents finally stop nagging, your relatives stop gossiping, and everybody saves face. Then after that holiday, everybody returns home and act as if nothing happened. Is it fake? Yes. Is it effective? Also yes. One of the apps called Hire Me Please claims to have 700,000 registered users. So you can essentially just rent a girlfriend with the same effort it takes to order food delivery. And over 1,000 people actually signed up as dates specifically for Lunar New Year. And of course the platform takes a cut from every hire. Basically Uber, but you know, instead of rides, it's just emotional labor. So what does renting a girlfriend in China actually look like? Short answer, it depends how deep you want to go. Now some platforms have women charging about 1,000 yuan a day, not including deposits or travel expenses. That's the base rate, but Lunar New Year? Different story. 2,500 yuan per day, and some of the women reported earning about 40,000 yuan in just 2 weeks. That's a lot more than many people make in months. Now let's talk about our first subject here. Ting Ting, a well-known daily rental girlfriend. Her setup? 1,000 yuan per day, deposit plus travel costs. She already earned 20,000 yuan from commission just by referring jobs to friends. But clients weren't just asking to meet her parents. They wanted to pay extra for fake wedding photos. At that point, this isn't even pretending anymore. It's a full-scale life simulation. You're not renting a girlfriend. You're renting a storyline. Now we can see here this gentleman asks, is your rental service a green or non-green option? It will be alright. Green code for same city is 900, for other city 1200. Non-green code 1500, for different city 1800. You need to pay for all the travel expenses. What does non-green rent mean? We can share the same bed. It's a lot more than just sharing the same bed. Now, you might think this is all chaotic and unstructured. Surprisingly, people do treat this as a professional acting gig. Meet Zhao Yuting, a 24-year-old from Beijing. She decided to be a Chinese New Year girlfriend just to see what the hype was about. She's one of the few that wasn't chasing money. She only charged for transportation. First, she posted an ad. The result? More than 700 applications. That alone should tell you how desperate people are. She eventually chose Wang Chuanming, a website operator from a rural town in southern China. Why him? She said he seems sincere and she's also never been to a rural area in China before. And before traveling the 2,000 kilometers, they didn't just wing it. She drafted a contract with rules like no kissing, no alcohol, no sleeping together. And the night before meeting his parents, they rehearsed their fake relationship backstory. How they met, how long they'd be together, and their future plans. Literal method acting. When they arrived, Wang's family welcomed her warmly. His mother gifted her their locally produced tea. Over dinner, they casually shared their relationship experiences, but eventually Wang confessed the truth. His mother admitted that, she had been fooled, but she wasn't angry. And at the end, did she stop pressuring him to marry? Absolutely not. Zhao later said that she felt guilty for deceiving his family, and Wang is back to square one. Now, the people renting themselves out come from all backgrounds. Some do it full-time, some do it only during holidays. One person even just did it just to buy the new iPhone. Now, some part-timers like Leo Nana don't even charge up front. They just take whatever red envelopes the family gives, maybe around 500 to 800 yuan, and pretty much let the client decide the rest. Age, personality, university, major, job, blood type. That's not even fake dating anymore. That's character selection. And because the entire industry here basically exists in a legal gray area zone, when something goes wrong, there's usually no one to save you. No refunds, no consumer protection, no customer support. A man in his late 20s was desperate to avoid marriage pressure. He paid 2,000 yuan to hire a tall woman to attend their family dinner. The next day after dinner, when it was time for her to leave, she sat down on the edge of the bed and said, "I love this place. I don't want to leave." She then started praising the food, the hospitality, and the parents. The man panicked. Like, he begged her to leave, explaining that he had no money left. And what can the guy do? If he confesses, then maybe his parents decides he's the one leaving the house that night. Now, was she trying to just extort more money or just enjoying the situation and having fun with it? No one knows. But if he kept on going with it and had to explain to his parents that suddenly his girlfriend had to move in the next day, at that point it's a leasing problem. Now let's switch gears because somehow it gets dumber. In Hainan province, a shopping mall introduced a viral promotion called Shared Boyfriends. 4 sharply dressed men in the mall holding signs with QR codes. Anybody could scan the code, pay 1 yuan, and rent them out for an hour. Photos were allowed, shopping together was allowed, but leaving the mall? Absolutely not. And netizens went like crazy about this. Power banks cost 3 or 4 yuan an hour. Men are cheaper than shared bicycles. When your gender is officially priced below transportation, I think it's time to rethink life. Because at this point, we've really lost the plot here. You know what this reminds me of? In some Chinese restaurants, there's a QR code on the table which you can scan to order the food directly from your phone. I don't see a difference here. It's actually just like the toys you see on the shelves. If there are any leftovers that can't be rented out, I'll pack them. And just when you thought the trend could stop at boyfriends and girlfriends, nah, this is a whole rental multiverse. On many Chinese video platforms, a trend called Butler Board Game Experiences has been popping off. Many influencers essentially vlog themselves hiring these male models to go on lunch dates with them. You go to a board game cafe and pay about 128 yuan per hour for a butler. And if you want to take him outside, price jumps 1.5 times. There are strict rules: no alcohol, extra fees after 9:30, and you must return them on time. It's like raising a Pokemon. The cafes even post profiles of photos and personality descriptions. That way customers can choose, their favorite. And it goes even deeper than that, because there are these other services marked as sleep aid live streams, text chat boyfriends, and virtual lovers. One of the shops even boasts over 3,000 monthly sales. If you could put a price tag on emotional support, this would be it right here. And yes, you can rent families too. The entire bloodline is all yours. A lot of these companies offer fake parents and relatives for 1,000 to 3,000 yuan a day. At that point, you're not really lying. You're kind of just producing a featured film. Now, China's marriage rate has been falling for years. A lot of young people are delaying marriage and focusing on education and work, strongly questioning the traditional timeline. But most Asian parents haven't gotten the software update yet, so renting the partner becomes the compromise. I won't get married yet, but I'll make it look like I'm on track. A lot of experts say these services should be regulated, like any other employment, because right now the system mainly just protects the platforms and not the people. So next time your family starts asking questions about a girl or a boy in your life, remember, you can do a whole character customization and order them right from your phone. Just be prepared when your family asks about kids. Are you unemployed? Well, I sure hope you are, because you're gonna love this one. Have you ever heard of someone paying money to go to work? Like, not a co-working space, not a cafe, but literally a fake office. A whole 9 to 5 with no salary. Welcome to China's trend where people pay to pretend to have a job. I know, I said it, the J word. Like, at first, I thought this was a joke. Like one of those Douyin skits where someone pretends to be a CEO in a 10-year affair with their assistant. But nah, this is real. Like, very real. People clock in, they take office selfies, they even go to pretend interviews. And some places literally forbid office romances so the fake workplace won't turn into a K-drama. This is like a luxury hotel at this point.
30多块钱就可以在长处感受到事业有成的安全感，干净整洁的办公环境，100家的工位随意选择。
Changshu pretend to work. Water, laptop, printer, snacks. The only thing you don't have is a salary. The whole thing started when a guy named Chen Yingjian had some empty office space lying around that he didn't need to use, as a normal person would. Just some spare office space. His recent grad friend Xiao Chu joked, "Bro, since no one can find jobs right now, why don't you create a company where the whole business model is centered around pretending to work?" Yeah, normal people like us would, just laugh and move on. These two basically looked at each other and said, wait, why does this look make sense? So Chen actually converted the office into a legit fake workplace. Desks, meeting rooms, reception desk, and even a live streaming studio. Because, well, of course. People pay about 30 yuan a day, around 4 to 5 USD, to experience the thrilling corporate life of sitting at a desk and doing absolutely nothing. Or they pay around 300 to 600 yuan a month, and fresh graduates get a discount at 150 yuan. Within 2 months, 30 to 40 people were already working there. This man accidentally speedran a startup from just a funny idea to, congratulations, you have employees who aren't actually employees. And then boom, it went viral on Xiaohongshu and Douyin. Because of course young people love showing off their productivity arc. And soon pretend to work companies literally popped up everywhere. Shanghai, Chengdu, Beijing, literally Pokemon regional variants of fake workplaces. It's packed. Even if you wanted to, I think you would have to book a year in advance. Helping the unemployed who want to hide the truth from their families. Working hard? More like hardly working. I'm sorry. Now, most of these places charge around 30 to 50 yuan per day, where they offer computers, Wi-Fi, printers, meeting rooms, free snacks, and lunch. And of course, some even make you fill out forms and do mock interviews. You want to feel employed? Congrats, bro. Get ready for an onboarding process that is more legit than most companies out there. Because the rules, well, no smoking, no dating, no skipping work, clocking in from 9 to 5 like a respectable fake adult. Some places even give you staff cards so that, you know, you can really feel not jobless. You'll have supervisors walking around looking over people, and even simulated work-like activities. But here's the thing, why would anyone pay for this? Let me introduce you to the true final boss of Chinese society. That is what is called face. Now, China already has a history of pretending at work. Like people staying at work late, doing absolutely nothing just to look like they're dedicated. But you know, having a job isn't just a job. It's your dignity, and it's your parents' WeChat moments begging rights. A participant from Shandong straight up just said people do this because they want to save face and don't want their parents to know that they're unemployed. So instead of staying home, they put on an office outfit, go to a pretend desk, and send busy at work selfies to their family group chat. Honestly, peak performative activities. Doing his whole morning routine. If I tried to do this, I'd be late 2 hours. What are you doing now? Is he grocery shopping before work? Finally arrived. And it's time to clock out now. Now you see, it's not always just about face, because some experts said that these mock offices actually provide structure. One of the doctors here said that they actually help young people keep a routine while looking for jobs. Some of them call it a shell, a space where young people distance themselves from society and not feel like they're failing. In other words, fake it till you make it. Now, a couple of our subjects here. Shui Zhou, a 30-year-old man whose food business collapsed in 2024. This man now pays 30 yuan a day in Dongguan to work at a fake office. Originally, he went day by day, but then he eventually upgraded to the VIP pass, which was 500 yuan a month. So he sends death selfies to his parents so that they stop worrying. He studies e-commerce there, stays until 11 p.m., then just chills with his colleagues. Bro found more work-life balance at a fake office than most people would at their real job.
This is the reception area, but there's nobody there. This is our workspace. There are computers and printers, but they don't work.
Here about 50.
This is an office with a nice view, but we only use it to play video games and take naps.
For 21-year-old Danny Wu, it's the extra touch that makes the concept enticing and believable.
She couldn't find a full-time job, but her university demanded internship proof for her diploma.
I take photos of my work environment. My family always asks me what I do. I can give them proof.
Took photos as evidence and spent the rest of the time writing online novels to earn cash. Her philosophy, if you're going to fake it to the end. Now, the founder says that 40% of customers are people like her. Fresh grads who need a certificate or just want to look employed. Then there's Ryan, 25, from Jiangsu. He worked at a pretend office for 6 months. Still unemployed 18 months post-graduation. He said paying to work made him feel stupid, which, I mean, but he said routine is routine. Some local bosses even do fake interviews for fun. For fun is diabolical. Now, Beijing actually opened one with 280 square meters, 30 workstations, charging 49.9 yuan a day. You go in, and it's full every day. So what actually goes on in the training grounds? If you walk into one of these offices, honestly, it looks kind of legit. And the craziest thing is that they have membership tiers. Pay more, computer actually works. Pay less, you might get a dead monitor for decoration. You know, just for the aesthetic. In Dongguan, an owner of one of these companies named Fei Yu said that he just wants to sell the feeling of worth and doesn't want to help people only with their acting skills. Instead, he helps them try to turn pretend work into real work. Now, Chen Yingjian also believes that most clients aren't just laying flat, but just trying to better themselves. Like, he even lets them work on some of his sales projects and splits profits 70 to 30 with them. So sometimes a pretend office becomes a real job. This is not what I signed up for. Of course, not everyone is happy about this. Some people are like, you still have no salary, and you're even spending money to work. The economy is cooked. Does the company offer a pretend to be at work service where you can verbally abuse people and they can't talk back? If you provide the right amount of money, everything will be fine. Isn't that just paying to work? No, business. Then there's the legal side, where some places offer fake internship certificates, which is a big no-no. Some even advertise that they'll make social insurance payments for you so you look officially employed. This could literally just cross into fraud. Is this sustainable? Probably not. But at least 14 companies have registered under the name Pretend to Work, so demand is still there. Now maybe you've heard of Tangping, lying flat, which means I quit the rat race. Wake me up when capitalism doesn't exist anymore. And then Lao Shu Ren, rat people, describing Gen Z who spend all their day in bed doom scrolling, refusing to participate in society. And fake offices are right in the middle, just right between laying flat and standing up straight. And to be honest, every country pretends. In China, we have fake offices. In the West, you have people renting out supercars, trying to sell you a course on how to sell a course. So yeah, at first glance, this whole thing feels like a joke, right? Essentially people paying to cosplay office workers. But you know, in a collapsing job market, a stressed out society, parents demanding stability, you know how Asian parents are. They don't tolerate unemployed people like me and you. So fake offices give them a place to exist. Maybe even hope. Or at least, you know, you get free coffee and snacks. But for now in China, it's pretty clear how far people will go to survive expectations and reality. So the next time you see your friend post a first day at a new job story, tell them to celebrate by treating you to a Michelin star dinner. Then check their bank account. Imagine you're in a reality show and you're locked in a hotel room and some random guy on the internet promises you 250,000 yuan to just sit there and do absolutely nothing. No blinking sideways, no scratching, no breathing funny. Sounds like a dream for introverts and a nightmare for anybody with an overreactive bladder. But don't get me wrong, this isn't a productivity retreat. This is Squid Game meets Airbnb. Except instead of dying, you just go bankrupt from service fees. So what even is this? Introducing the Chinese Self-Discipline Challenge. Just pay a small registration fee of 9,000 yuan and we'll just throw you locked in a hotel room with nothing but your thoughts, a camera, and a rule book. This whole thing started on Douyin. Of course, right? Where influencers advertise life-changing self-improvement challenges. The catch? You get money if you survive being monitored 24/7 under rules stricter than a boarding Catholic school. Prize pool: 300,000 yuan to 600,000 yuan. In reality, you pay 6,000 to 8,000 yuan just to enter, then get eliminated immediately for sneezing too enthusiastically. So yes, you pay thousands to suffer in solitude, while someone else watches you like a zoo animal, judging your entire existence based on how long it takes for you to poop. The idea is simple: no voices, no smoking, no snacks, no tech, no
I've been
contact,
holding it in.
no soul. You are allowed to use your phone for 12 minutes
prairie
a day,
dogging.
which is just enough time to realize you're getting scammed. If I'm being honest, 12 minutes is a bit absurd. Like nowadays with doom scrolling and the dopamine receptors being absolutely fried, they should just lower it to 3 minutes. Step out of the frame of the camera for more than 3 seconds, disqualified. Take a long bathroom break, you're out. Use the alarm clock more than twice? How dare you? This isn't a detox. This is a full-blown surveillance kink disguised as self-improvement. So, what happens if you dare sign up? Let's meet our cast of unfortunate souls. Mr. Zhang, a man from Baoji, stumbled across a live stream advertising self-discipline experience. Enticed by promises of rich rewards, he signed a 26-day contract and paid 6,900 yuan. And he was disqualified after a couple hours in, because his face was blocked when he rubbed his eyes. Imagine losing 7 grand because your pillow committed face obstruction. That's the most expensive nap in human history. Which means his face left the frame for more than 3 seconds. Boom. Gone. Game over. Organizers cited this as a violation of face cannot leave camera for more than 3 seconds and eliminated him. And God forbid your shirt goes up even a little bit. The organizers are gonna deem it as nudity. But mama didn't raise no quitter. Mr. Zhang paid another 6,900 yuan and tried again, only to be eliminated for briefly obscuring his face while making his bed. After a third attempt, this time targeting a shorter 10-day challenge,
He failed again because he left the monitored area to pick up some items. Eventually, the only discipline left was how many times he could get robbed without quitting. In total, he spent more than 20,400 yuan and got nothing but frustration. Eventually, he sued the organizing company because nothing says personal growth like needing a lawyer after a mindfulness retreat. Court documents later revealed that the contract had more than a dozen of prohibited rules, such as organizers could just add any obstacles during the challenge at their own will. Because apparently, the ultimate test of self-discipline is whether you can sleep like a mannequin without adjusting your clothes. Some contracts literally let the organizers tempt the participants with cigarettes, alcohol, like it's a saw trap. Oh no, you touched the bottle. I guess you lose 9,000 yuan. Thanks for playing. Now here are your options. And it's never just one try. By controlling both the rules and the enforcement, the organizers ensure success is almost impossible. Participants rarely see promised money. The only winner here is the organizers collecting the fees. It shows how easily these challenges become an endless cycle of failure and debt. Organizers enforce inhumane rules, which leads to encouraging repeat attempts by refunding or slightly reducing requirements. And they even provide a list of loan apps to help participants finance their next try. Now, with our most extreme victim, Mr. Zhang number 2, I'm seeing a pattern here. This time, a man from Shanghai who attempted a 35-day challenge, not once, not twice, but 10 freaking times. He had to outdo Mr. Zhang number 1 somehow. Drawn in by a contract promising 400,000 yuan if he made it to the 35-day mark, and also 180,000 yuan if he made it to the 22-day mark, he paid 9,000 yuan up front. Rookie numbers. But he didn't even survive the first day, because he left his backpack on a sofa rather than in a designated blind spot. The organizers declared him in breach and kept his fee. Unfazed, he kept signing up. Instead of running away like any sane human being, he said, okay. I think I just got unlucky there on the first try. Second time's a charm. Third time's a charm. But the rules he encountered this time were Olympic level difficulty. You must always face the camera. Turn your back or cover your face for more than 3 seconds and you're out. You can plug in or plug out your phone only once every 24 hours. But the single permitted phone session must only occur between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. If you touch it at 10:05 p.m. one night and 10:04 p.m. the next, it's a violation. Bathroom visits are unlimited, but each trip must only be 15 minutes, and you must face the camera for at least 10 seconds. Any exposure of Gunner material, or your privates, including briefly lifting your shirt, and God forbid even touching your own thigh when adjusting your pants, is all grounds for elimination. At another venue, he was penalized for removing his glasses, because the organizer interpreted it as taking off clothing broadly. I didn't even know you could conduct wardrobe misconduct. After failing 7 times in Chengdu and 3 more times in Harbin, he has spent nearly 100,000 yuan on just registration fees and air tickets. Only then, which is what could have been a down payment on a house, did he consult a lawyer and realize this was all a scam. But honestly, Zhang isn't alone. This whole scheme is designed as a rigged slot machine. You lose, you blame luck. You try again, you lose harder. But the diamonds are just at the end of the tunnel. Meanwhile, the house always wins. So why are people signing up for this? They're marketed as a shortcut to freedom. Pay 8,000 yuan, suffer in silence for a month, and boom, you're debt free. And most of these participants, they're not influencers. They're manual labor workers, unemployed workers, middle-aged men, people who've hit rock bottom and are desperately clinging on to anything that looks like a ladder. And the real puppet master behind this? Douyin. These self-discipline challenges only exploded because short-form video rewards pain. Douyin doesn't require companies to get permission before live streaming, so sketchy organizers can just run wild. And while China's internet regulators have been criticizing this, ByteDance, Douyin's parent company, has strangely stayed quiet. I wonder why. Some families even encourage their relatives to try. Mr. Zhang's family only admitted that the rules sound impossible after he already spent his life savings. But there are some heroes like Li Jiming who fought back. After failing twice, he called the police, sued, and won a refund. Then he spent his free time warning others in Douyin comment sections, like a survivor living to tell the tale, only to get flooded with DMs asking how to sign up. Guys. And the regulators were like, yeah, this is definitely illegal. A court in Shandong province ruled that one of the contracts violated public order and morals, and forced the organizers to refund 5,400 yuan. The court basically said, this isn't self-discipline, it's a slot machine with surveillance. And no, you can't fine people for putting a pillow over their face. Even after losing the case, the companies tried to appeal, because nothing says we respect the law by trying to immediately dodge it again. So to this day, the companies are trying to just rebrand the same exploitative format, but just in new names, like consulting packages, wellness retreats, and my personal favorite, food and lodging bundles, aka the IKEA jail experience. They'll tell you, oh, you can bring a lawyer to the contract signing, but won't give you any proof that someone actually got paid. But sometimes you just gotta risk it all. Go big or go home. Except there won't be a home. In all honesty, just turn off your phone, go take a walk, set a goal, maybe try a productivity app that doesn't involve surveillance contracts. Stay disciplined, stay skeptical, and if you're ever offered 400,000 yuan to sit quietly in a room for 35 days, take it or leave it. Alright, imagine you've just met the love of your life on WeChat. She's cute, flirty, and likes long walks in the park. You show up at her place, milk and fruit in hand, ready to make some memories. And then you find out she's actually a 38-year-old man in a wig filming the entire thing for a $21 membership site. Welcome to the Red Uncle scandal. Maybe the wildest catfish story in modern Chinese history. So, who exactly is this person? His real name, Jiao. 38-year-old man from Nanjing. Online he calls himself Ah Hong, or Sister Hong. But soon netizens gave him his new nickname, Red Uncle. As you can see, our boy here, you know, you can tell that it's a guy, okay? Social media in China has been appalled by cross-dressing middle-aged men who claimed to have sex with more than 1,000 men, secretly filming them and sharing the videos online. As you can see, like, there are plenty, thousands. Essentially, he dressed in wigs, floral blouses, and heavy makeup, used beauty filters, and faked a soft, feminine voice. The result? A surprisingly convincing persona that lured over 1,600 men. Some people say he looked like a cross between your divorced aunt who sells essential Chinese oils and an e-girl with a suspiciously high credit limit. But somehow, it worked. So how did he do it? How did the mastermind come up with this plan? So let's break down how this worked. Red Uncle's Playbook. It's basically the Catfish Olympics. Step 1. Create an online profile with maximum filters. Step 2. Pretend to be a shy, lonely woman living alone. Step 3. Invite men over, asking them to bring small gifts. Milk, fruit, sometimes even a half-used bottle of cooking oil. Step 4. Secretly install a hidden camera behind a faucet. Step 5. Record the entire encounter. And finally, upload it to a paid online group, charging $21 per person for access. You know you're in a dystopian timeline when bring me half a bottle of soybean oil is part of the seduction protocol. Also, just think about the hustle here. Most people can't even get a first date. This man had an entire supply chain. China crossdressers secretly film sex with hundreds of men sparks public health concerns. I think there's a much larger concern here is how he even tricked all these guys in the first place. Police in the city of Nanjing in eastern China's Jiangsu province said they had arrested a 30-year-old man surnamed Jiao for disseminating obscene material on July 5th. Now, as you can see, some of Jiao's victims reportedly saw himself in the leaked videos and reported him to the police. It's been reported that Jiao is in his 60s. How can you not tell? Like, even with makeup, you can tell. Like, were they completely blinded by their horniness? Damn, this is like an hour worth of videos. They were even recognized by their friends and families online. One man was recognized by a mother who said he was an English teacher at a kindergarten. A woman was reported to have discovered her fiance in the headshots. Tough. We got a whole gallery. This is a lot of dudes. Our first subject here, Brother 4 Seasons. Many netizens discovered that there was a handsome young man who appeared in 4 videos wearing different outfits of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And he was talking and laughing with Sister Hong in these videos with a happy expression. He also did not forget to give Sister Hong a gift. Our second subject, Leather Jacket Man. A man with a striking appearance and wearing a leather jacket was also exposed. And it's reported that this man already had a fiance. And after the time he was exposed, his fiance seemed to have proposed a breakup. And accused the man of betrayal and indifference on social media. I have called the police, my life is a mess, and I'm ready to leave Nanjing and move to another city. Apparently it's this guy right here. He was a personal trainer coming over, bringing gifts, and everything here got leaked from him, and this guy just has to dip, I guess. Damn. And this, our final subject, this guy right here, okay, this guy is the final boss. Right here, apparently revealed the true identity of Sister Hong on the spot, but said that, since I'm here, I decided to go ahead. You can't be making this up. And Sister Hong also repeatedly disliked him for being too smelly. This guy literally just said, I might as well. And there actually was a video on this. As you can see here, this is one of the interactions. This is the subject. This is the guy who was like, I might as well. He's like, oh shit. So he realized, right? And now he's like, he's like contemplating. He's like, this is so bad, but like, I'm already here, I already carried milk across the town, might as well, right? But he gave in. This bro really gave in. You can see, like, look at him. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm already here, so. And there was a claim that 11 people were infected with HIV, and it was confirmed by the police to be just a rumor, because in reality, there was probably over 100. But the diseases, the STDs transferred, it's like the Avatar gif with generations upon generations, or like One For All passing the quirk down. Like, even with the mask on, just look at the hands. You can tell just by the physique, right? Like, how these guys, I don't know how they couldn't tell. Netizens began to use their creativity to spoof the Hongjie filter challenge, and even a battle guide video appeared. These are a lot of dudes. Like we got this guy is jacked. How did he get lured into this? As you can see, there are plenty of guys. Their faces are of course blurred out, but I don't think that really helps if I'm being honest. And now a lot of people are memeing about it. They're making Sister Hong filter challenge, where like the background is the room, the exact room where the videos were leaked, and they're using it as a filter. Someone even did an AI spoof video about it and a dub. Like, look at this.
你输在哪里？今天我手把手教各位集美如何吃到优质的菜。
They even got cosplay. This is even crazy. Look at this one. This gallery is thousands of faces. If these guys are going out of their way doing these kind of activities, they're already kind of like fucked up in the brain. Here we get them caught in the act of, even here, the mask is literally like down and you can't realize that it's a guy. Many of the visitors are young and handsome, and they were regulars too, so we got regulars now. Now, this guy has supposedly been arrested by now, and apparently this guy has been doing this for more than 3 years. Yo, they even made a whole ass manhwa out of this. We got Lego City. Oh, they're touching bricks. This is like the solo leveling sequel, but like the only thing that's leveling up is their chances of STDs. Some of these guys even became regulars. So regular that netizens called one guy the 4 Seasons bro because he kept coming back in different outfits. Some guys were so mortified they just literally refused to cooperate with the police investigation because, I mean, let's be honest, how do you explain this to your wife? Honey, I swear I was just dropping off a bottle of milk. Naturally, the internet has lost its mind. One blogger joked, ladies, be careful. If your boyfriend comes home with no milk or fruit, Maybe he left it at Red Uncle's. Another person said, this is a spiritual sterilization for straight men. And my personal favorite, something feels off, but hey, since I'm already here. This is the kind of story that just makes you want to completely delete every app and social media and just start raising goats in the countryside. At this point, you're probably asking, how did this work for over 1,600 dudes? Two reasons. Number one, digital filters. Bro was basically face-tuning himself into a Disney princess. It's like beauty makeup on steroids, pretty much. And in the scheme of things, in like the Douyin beauty standards and makeup in China, everywhere you go, you're gonna see that one girl was like, that kind of makeup, that Douyin style makeup is everywhere. Like at this point, the catfish is insane. And number two, once they were already in their apartment, a combination of embarrassment, curiosity, and maybe desperation kept them from leaving. But you gotta be like another level of low to realize it's a dude and just keep going with it, even though you're straight. I mean, well, because you've already carried milk across town, maybe your pride is the first thing to die. Now, let's talk about the legal and public health side. Red Uncle's activities checked basically every legal box you don't want to check. Invasion of privacy, distribution of obscene material, fraud, and even worse, none of the encounters used protection, leading to massive public health concerns. Now, beyond the memes, this does raise a bigger question. In an age where filters can turn anyone into a fantasy, how do you know who you are really meeting? When dating has become a transaction and your identity is built on curated selfies, it's disturbingly easy to slip into this kind of deception. And if your entire sense of desirability can be faked with a wig and a filter, what does that say about modern Chinese romance? For weeks, Chinese social media has been flooded with dark jokes. All men are victims now. I'm never dating again. Even my cooking oil isn't safe. But underneath the humor is real anxiety about trust, digital masks, and loneliness. Because when every relationship starts with a filter, it's easy to forget where the mask ends and the person begins. But yeah, so next time, if you meet a beautiful stranger online, maybe ask a few extra questions. Like, are you Sister Hong? Why do you have 6 cartons of cooking oil? Is that a faucet or a hidden camera? Because honestly, in the age of filters, you really don't know. And if I'm found with a floral blouse after this video, just know I was just doing some research. So you're doom scrolling on TikTok at 3 a.m. because, well, of course you are. And then suddenly, boom, there's a white girl named Yuki sipping matcha like it's a mana potion, while slowly trying to change her appearance to look more like Rosé from Blackpink through watching a YouTube video. Welcome to the Asian obsession epidemic. You see, they don't go to doctors. They don't go to plastic surgeons. They don't go to dermatologists. They go to the church of YouTube.com. The latest hyperfixation where matcha is a personality, K-dramas are religion, and race, well, apparently it's just a setting that you can toggle on like it's some Sims character customization. This isn't about appreciating Asian culture anymore. This is pretty much parasocial culture cosplay on steroids. We've got people claiming that they're transracial RCTAs, who believe that listening to K-pop at 432 Hz audio will somehow realign their DNA and reconstruct their spiritual chakras. This isn't just cringe. It's an entire cinematic universe of delusional. This is where you fully enter the Delulu arc, when obsession becomes a final boss with logic. Instead of maybe learning Japanese or Korean properly, well, they think they can just download an DLC Asian skin pack. Someone just should get them a copy of Duolingo. So what even is RCTA? Well, it is somewhat of a movement, a belief, and a religion. They're a group of teens who think that they can literally transform into Asian people by listening to subliminal YouTube videos. They believe that if you just play Korean DNA monolids for 3 hours while you're sleeping, that your genes will slowly mutate and turn you into Jenny. And I'm not exaggerating. People are out here listening to Korean DNA Subliminal, Monolids in 2 days, East Asian Face Structure Download, and my favorite, Monogaloid Skull ASMR Transformation. Yes, that last one literally uses a racist anthropological slur and turns it into a spa playlist. These channels swear that they'll rewrite your neural pathways and give you monolids, straight brows, glass skin, and a nose sharp enough to slice through generational trauma. They're like Pokemon evolving in their sleep. One girl says she grew monolids and lost 2 pounds while watching these videos. Another said her aura is becoming more K-pop. Like, they're actually aura farming delusion at this point. Are you Won Young? Powerful subliminal. Oh my god. I'm getting sensory overload. Stop the video. Listen to up to 3 times per day. Affirmations summed up. Jang Won-young is a lookalike to me. Every time I function, I transform and get skinnier and taller. Perfection. I can already start feeling my 5'11" height starting to turn into 6'4". Oh my god, so powerful. I only listened to maybe 30 or 40 times that same night, and when I looked to the mirror, I saw Wang Young. Rookie mistake. I've already listened to it for maybe like 10 times, and I can probably already like be her. She can probably sense me at this point. I have listened 25 out of 26 times yesterday, and I looked at my face today and wow, I really look like her. Well, see, your first mistake is that you missed 1 time yesterday. You're not at your full potential. You can tell that this is not satire and they are being serious. East Asian skull plus appearance. Right. I can feel my skull starting to morph already. Even my jawline is becoming a bit more defined. Are the results permanent, or do I have to keep listening to this to not lose my results? You need to be careful because this might be permanent, okay? Once you start even listening to a couple of times, you might not be able to go back. You might be Korean forever. Look Korean in 1 listen. Mega powerful. Monolith subliminal. Very powerful. Use 2 times a day for 1 week to get results. Monolith eyes subliminal. Extremely powerful subliminal. 432 Hz. Douyin. Beauty and seduction. Large pupils plus Aegusal plus big iris eyes plus long eyelashes. You forgot the plus identity crisis. Benefits. I have large pupils, I have Aegusal, I have big iris eyes, I have long eyelashes, I have thick eyelashes. Benefits. I have large pupils, I have Aegusal, I have big iris eyes, I have long eyelashes, I have thick eyelashes. Benefits. It was not long enough. I gotta put headphones on for these ones. Sorry about that. My brain could not handle the subliminal. Like, the 432 Hz penetrated my entire DNA, and then like, that was too much. That was too much for me. Okay, shut up. This is amazing. Throughout the day, I listened while I studied around 1 to 2 hours total. And whenever I saw myself in the mirror, I was shocked at how pretty my eyes looked. They were so shiny, and my eyelashes looked fuller. Also, my face just looked so much more easy to look at. It's sort of hard to describe, but I haven't had results this quickly and obviously before, so thank you so much. This is what changed her life. Honestly, yeah, I see it. If this actually worked, I'd be blasting financial stability frequencies 24/7. And these RCTA users even pick new names like Sakura, Jisoo, Yuki, and then they refer to their past life race, like if they just had to rewrite their entire save and start a new game. Experts are obviously like, please go outside. Sociologists are calling this delusional identity disorder. No, I think they're just overreacting. As if centuries of cultural experiences can just be replaced by a YouTube video and a dream. Congratulations, you've hit spiritual rock bottom and somehow found a shovel. Let's talk about our first case here. Elisa, a 15-year-old from Maryland. Online, she's known as Miyuki. She says she's always had a special connection to Japan. Listen, she probably just watched Your Name once and started feeling this connection right after the movie. She probably thinks she's like the main character. She runs a TikTok account at RCTA_CLDR for life. What a username. Her haters? She counters this by posting aesthetic East Asian influencers because while nothing screams, I'm totally not appropriating, like using other people's faces as a defense mechanism. She says listening to subliminals made her eyelids smaller, her hair darker, and her vision cleaner. So she unlocked LASIK through Spotify Premium. You see, I think this case study is also some type of subliminal because as I read this, I feel like my brain is getting smaller and smaller. She claims it starts as a mental and spiritual shift and eventually becomes a physical transformation. It's like she's solo leveling her way to become Korean. Next up, we have Aaliyah. Very similar name to the first case. Maybe there are some common similarities for this name and RCTA. 14, born Egyptian, but online, she goes by Saika Hashimoto. You can't be making this up. Because nothing says subtle transformation like a full-blown identity rebranding. Her aesthetic? Korean-Japanese hybrid. This is like naming an engine. She claims that she has manifested monolids after looping subliminal videos on repeat. Now, if you guys don't know what monolids are, it's basically this Asian thing. So you'll have this line where it cuts between the top of your eye. Yeah, definitely just watching some videos will just slowly realign your eye skin shape. There was this channel named Misu, which was an unofficial CEO of RCTA pretty much, and their channel actually got terminated. So, US government, what are you trying to hide? The channel did have like over 6 million views, and I mean none of the videos were like professionally reviewed, of course, but they do come with anime filters and like a heaping spoonful of delusion. Here is an example of one of the re-uploaded subliminals. Unfortunately, they don't have the affirmations. I was really looking forward to that. So as you can see, this is exactly what it is. Wait, I'm manifesting. Oh, come on, only a minute and 34 seconds. I'll have to loop this for at least like 5 more hours, right? Yay. By the way, most people that run these channels, they're probably not even Asian themselves. That's why they're so obsessed with it.
It's not fair. 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 Not fair.
Bro, this is literally Japan. My intro, RCTA. Yo, sorry, I like opened this and like I almost got an aneurysm. My intro, RCTA, old race. Indian, new race. South Korean. Face claim, player 333 ex-girlfriend. After watching Squid Game, I really felt connected to the culture and people in the show. Even before the show, I always liked K-pop and its culture. Back then, I didn't feel connected to my Indian culture. I always wanted to be Asian. Fun fact, I do Wang Youngism. He's just like me. So like, what exact connection did he feel in Squid Game? Because like, the only connection I felt was to the old man, okay? And what kind of connection did he feel? Like red light, green light? See, all in all, RCTA is the budget cosplay of identity. The free trial version of transracialism. The I can't afford surgery, so instead, I'll listen to Chaewon eyebrow shape energy waves. At its core, it's not just problematic, it's tragic. Behind all the aesthetic filters and DNA manifestation rituals are real kids with real insecurities, trying to escape who they were born as, how they look, where they come from, by pretending to be someone else entirely. And in that sense, RCTA isn't just a meme, it's a mirror, a painfully warped one. Don't just hit play on Korean DNA manifestation 10-hour loop and expect to wake up Asian. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go manifest some Chinese IQ genetic frequencies so I can finally pass my AP exam. Alright, imagine this. You wake up one day and you look in the mirror And instead of calling your mom for advice, you call the entire internet. You ask for advice on every single Chinese social media platform there is. What if 40,000 strangers suddenly became your therapist, your stylist, your gym bro, and your tiger mom? That's basically what's happening on Xiaohongshu, the app that turned roast me culture into an international self-improvement campaign. They literally have a hashtag called Ting Chuan, which translates to I will listen. Okay guys, destroy me, but nicely. Men post their barefaced selfies, stand there like sacrificial lambs, and invite the entire internet to go full Gordon Ramsay on their entire existence. And the most famous of them, Xiao Ai, who went from a random, underpaid Hubei dude into the most obedient guy on the internet. From rural laborer to husband material. In December 2021, this 25-year-old from Hubei logs into Xiaohongshu and basically drops a cry for help. Why am I 26 and single? Alright, how about let's take a look at his player skill tree. 170 centimeters tall, 3,000 yuan a month, no house, no insurance, no dating experience, and second-hand car. That's probably one of the worst things you can do in Chinese economy. Bro didn't just overshare, he wrote his own rejection letter. And the internet? Oh, they did not hold back. People called him fat, ugly, short, broke. Basically every insult except plays League. Though let's be real, that was probably implied. But instead of clapping back like a keyboard warrior, Xiao Ai did the unthinkable. He said thank you. He bowed down, took the L, and promised to reflect. Now, here's where it gets spicy. He actually took action. First step, the man ditched his tragic bowl cut and got a side part. Threw away his clunky glasses and put in contacts. Instantly looked 10 years younger. And what did netizens have to say? Congrats, you evolved from a middle-aged uncle to someone who might actually be allowed in a Uniqlo ad. Now let's get to weight loss and fitness. At first, Xiao Ai crash dieted so hard he looked like he was auditioning for a zombie movie. And the netizens were like, bro, this is not a glow up. This is a hostage situation. They demanded a balance, so he picked up some running and weight training. Slowly, he leveled up from pudgy rice cooker material to a lean muscular gym bro. Now let's get on to the style polls. My man even sold his drone just to buy new clothes. Then he let strangers vote on every single outfit. Imagine, you buy drip, and then 43 random aunties decide whether you look like a K-drama lead or a gas station attendant. He tried sweaters, Korean fits, even some, what in the H&M clearance rack is this? Heading over to skincare and makeup, the most important part. A female follower then slid into his DMs. Not for romance, by the way, but just one of the realest advice of all. That men can exfoliate. She told him to use serums, eyebrow pencils, and even powders. Who knew moisturizers weren't just for girls? Now, it's time for the career upgrade. You see, glow-ups aren't cheap. After a blind date ditched him for being broke, Xiao Ai decided, fine, I'll just make more money then. He studied for a nursing certificate, then started caring for the elderly, and then he tripled his income, from 3k to 9k yuan per month. He juggled car parts sales, caregiving shifts, and even pulled in side cash from social media. From broke dude to part-time blogger with magazine features. Now, finally, his ambitions and education. Netizens told him, women can tolerate no money, but not no ambition. He retested his academic qualifications, supported his family, and still hustled after hours, grinding out hundreds of yuan daily. That has my respect. 2 years later, he dropped the receipts. The before and after photos. The glow up, let me tell you, it looks insane. Gone was pudgy, awkward uncle. Enter confident, fit guy with trendy haircut who looked like he could star in a cheap cologne ad. And the finale? He got engaged and legally married. Fans even stalked his follow list and realized he only followed one account, a freelance photographer. Yep, his wife. A happy ending, you love to see it. But, how about the costs? Xiao Ai admitted that he dropped 30,000 yuan, aka 70% of his income, just to glow up. That's like investing in crypto, but instead of coins, you buy moisturizer and protein powder. And guess what? It actually paid off. Confidence, career, marriage. Something we all wish we could get. Netizens joked, it felt like watching 100 girlfriends grooming one dude, which, it's kind of accurate. Now he runs an account with his wife, sharing skincare and gym tips. Plus daily couple content that makes single people like me log off immediately. Now listen here. Chinese millennials and Gen Z, offline, most of them are usually socially constipated. 64% of them say they freeze in real life convos. You think walking up to someone and saying, "Hey, should I cut my bangs?" is easy? The comment section calls themselves the review committee. Basically, anonymous judges voting on your hoodie color. Imagine Uber but reversed. You upload your selfie, and the strangers, they rate you 3 stars. Would not date again. Needs moisturizer. Now, Xiaoai might be the flagship glow-up disciple, but he's not the only one throwing himself at the mercy of the internet jury. Even some celebrities hopped on. In February 2024, the comedian Yang Di, the guy known for looking like everyone's funny cousin at Lunar New Year, got a professional makeover from a makeup artist called Rabbit. And when Rabbit finished, straight out of K-pop Demon Hunters. Netizens were so shook they thought it was deepfake sorcery. Now that moment sealed it. Glow-ups aren't just for sad uncles anymore. They're mainstream. Okay, so why the hell are Chinese men willingly turning themselves into an internet science project? Glow-ups equals money. Xiaoai didn't just magically transform. He bought new fits, gym memberships, skincare, and even protein powder. And every one of those purchases, affiliate sales for the platform. Your glow-up isn't just for your confidence. It's for Xiaohongshu's Q4 earnings. But before you start thinking that this is the magical solution to every sad selfie you take, let's talk about the dark side of letting 40,000 Chinese netizens play makeup simulator with your life. Not every comment is, "You look great with a fade, king." You know, because sometimes it's, "You are short, broke, and look like a steamed piece of bun." Xiaoai literally got torn apart for his income, height, and face. Thankfully, Tingchuan culture at least encourages people to nod politely. Ah yes, thank you for telling me I look like a rejected Pokemon. Everyone keeps saying, be more like a K-pop idol. Newsflash, not everyone can transform into BTS on a 3,000 yuan salary. But one Douyin blogger somehow farmed 18,000 followers just by documenting his transformation arc. Step 1, netizens told him, "Bro, shave the stubble. You are not Tony Leung. You just look unemployed." Then they bullied him out of his suffocating skinny jeans, and then pushed him into wearing baggy denim and an oversized t-shirt. Next, the 3 to 7 side part haircut. The official haircut of every K-pop idol, as well as every Asian guy you see in the vicinity. A perm would have topped it off just right. But to complete the look, he put on a mask. Yep, we're mask fishing now. And that's when the internet lost it. Netizens started screaming, "I'm calling the police. Any guy with his haircut and a mask is a public safety hazard." Another chimed in, "Don't doubt it. I even photoshopped accessories on his face to confirm. It's the same dude." Bro literally went from Minecraft villager to wanted man by just wearing a mask. In his next upload, he upped the intensity. Slapped on a hydrating mask because netizens told him his skin was drier than instant noodles. Then he whipped out a hair straightener to fix his bangs. Boom. As easy as that. From background NPC to K-pop oppa. Apparently any average dude wearing a mask and half-room glasses automatically becomes a heartthrob. Another commented, "Your crush on the subway? Probably just a guy whose nose and mouth are in witness protection." One person even screenshotted him mid-shave and realized, wait, he's not ugly? You just need to cover half his face. All in all, if you're sitting at home thinking about your glow up, maybe start small. Ask a friend about your outfit before asking 40,000 Chinese netizens on the internet. And remember, the best transformations happens not when you blindly obey the comments, but when you take the advice, mix it with your own drive and your own personal touch.
Memory. that tomorrow. But now that I do have a dope camera, I should probably do something cool with it. Alright, I think I'm just gonna call this one here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.